Gabriel, proud and gifted, what do we do?
Celebrate young people's achievements.
He's so sweet as well.
I love doing, my love.
I'm good. How are you? I was saying, I'm not doing it at home. Every single time we do a live and I'm like, right, I've got to do it at home today. I abrupt fight with someone in the house, or all of them. Like, you know, I'm doing no bravado live. Cheyenne.
Shy?
Yeah.
Okay.
She wants the plug to charge her phone, but I'm like, yeah, no, I need it for no bravado. Well, that's a bit selfish. I lost it. Are you all right? You know I've got no bravado. I was like, listen. And it just kind of went from there.
Last time it was her in the boiler.
Yeah, because she needed a... Bath, I had to turn off the hot water.
She lost her shit.
She lost her shit. And I thought, yeah, the bravery is real today.
Because she knows she can't do that. Got 15 minutes to murder you. Oh, dear.
So, yeah. But I'm good. How are you?
Flustered, man. Flustered up and down today. Had to wear the mask up and down.
Yeah, the mask is stressful, man.
I don't know how I'm going to cope in the summer with the mask. I'm really hoping they drop that out by June.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one of those days, a bit flustered, but we're here.
Yes, we move.
Yeah, we're here. And so today, we've got the legendary Steven Oram from Proud and Gifted joining us. Now, this gentleman's doing great things in the community. He's a lovely spirit. Whenever I see him, he makes me smile. He's outgoing, he's friendly, he's funny, you have a good time, we take a selfie. He's just amazing. I love Steven. Oh, hey, Tash, we got to say good evening to some people.
Hey.
Yeah, hey, Tash, hey, Mish. Hey, Rod. Hey, Alicia. But yeah, I was saying, so Steve is doing great things in the community with young people, and want to delve into that, talk to him a lot more about what it is that he actually does and how we can all just kind of join up as a network and support each other and, you know, go forward from there. You got anything to say?
No, I'm sorry, I was just looking at the comments.
Like, hello, are you even talking to me?
Do you know what? I was just catching up on the comments. Because I know you were saying that a few people have logged in, so I was like, let me have a look. But my thing seems to be running a little bit slower.
Okay.
So mine are coming through like just now.
Right. Okay.
Sorry. Repeat that? No.
No way.
Sorry.
No way,
No, but I know you was talking about Steven, and I've not met him many times. I think I met him. Stamp was the first time I met him, and he was the honorary rep. Yeah, head rep. Yeah. And I just remember he was a very bubbly spirit. And then I met him again when he came down to do a pre-recording to talk about Proud and Gifted, and I like that was the first time I proper heard about it. And I was like, this is serious. Like I really like everything that it stands for. Yeah.
Okay. So without further ado, let's admit the wonderful Steven Oram. Let's have a chat. Let's chop it up. Hey! He's connected to audio.
Hello, could you hear me?
Hello.
Wait, hold on. I can't hear you. Could you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Hold on.
Are we in retrograde?
I think we're always in some kind of retrograde.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Good evening.
Yay! How you doing, Steve?
I'm fine, thanks. And thank you for having Proud and
Oh dear. Turn yourself up a little bit, Steve. Can you hear me?
Sorry. I can't hear you, lot. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, we can hear you.
we can hear you.
I think it's a retrograde to us. Something's gone in.
Now we can't hear you.
Now he's back. To see if headset come out.
It looks like he's doing a what's that thing? Charades. One word.
Can you hear us?
Yeah. Can you hear
us?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you, lot.
Oh no. Go out and come back in. Let me just text you. Hang on. Oh, I could do it in the chat. All right. Yeah, can you hear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we done it. We got there. There's something in the air today.
No, I think it's my fault, but it's fine anyway.
Welcome.
Welcome.
How you doing,
Thank
Steve?
you. Steven's good, man. Really good. I'm glad to be here today.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
How's the
It took me Trish a while to get here, but I'm glad I'm here today.
Are you nervous?
No. Once when I go live, the nervous thing's out the window. Only when I'm about to be entered into a room, the little nerves are there, but then gone.
Then
it goes.
Yeah. No,
the nerves are always there to build up.
Yeah.
I get nervous doing this still, and then when things cock up like they just did, because it's live, there's nothing you can do. You can't put it out. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, but I knew it wasn't your fault. It was my fault. So
no, but before you came on, there was a whole kerfuffle as well with me. It was me.
Okay. Yeah, there's always. Do I get nervous? Yeah, always nervous pre a discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But once it starts, no, I'm good.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
I'm good.
All right. So talk to us about Proud and Gifted. Tell me what made you say I'm going to get up and start this initiative. But actually, before that, no, tell me that. Go on.
Oh, fine. Whatever you want to lead with first is cool.
No, I was going to ask, has the pandemic halted Proud and Gifted? But it might make sense to introduce it first and then we go into that.
Okay. So that we don't lose thought with your latest question. Hello, everyone. I'm Steven, the founder of Proud and Gifted, the media platform that celebrates young people's achievements.
Right.
How do I do this and why? I always had an idea of always had an idea to celebrate young people in some form.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I launched Proud and Gifted about 4 or 5 years ago, if I'm honest.
Right.
And like anything, you think, you put something out there, you think, yeah, everyone's gonna like it. And the first video, I think it's still sitting there as it goes, because it's the expectations of, obviously you believe in yourself, you believe in your work.
Mm-hmm.
But if nobody out there knows what you're doing and who you are, nothing will happen. So around mid-2018, I was always in conversation with my sister Esther. And one day she says to me, right, find a name that represents what you're doing.
Right.
I bought Gifted this, Young this, Proud this, blah, blah, blah. Once I purchased Proud and Gifted, I sat and I was like, sis, I think this is it. And you know, like any family member, she tries to claim that Proud and Gifted is cool. Yeah, you know what it was. It's fine.
It was born with me.
Yeah. But once I found the name, obviously I purchased some of the domain name, but once I purchased the domain name, previously to that, about 3-4 months, I just spent my time watching videos how to build content.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then watch no videos to make money, I'm doing a few workshops where I'm letting people know from the beginning, think about the money, the monetizing it. But I think with Black people, we like to do things from our heart, and maybe not all of us, but some of us, then the finances will come. So anyway,
Right.
So I watch all videos just to build content and do what I'm doing. And then I had an idea for, right, 2 of my cousins, one film one, say, interview the young person. One day we agreed to meet, but they didn't meet. And for me, that was a sign like, hey, what? I can't take this risk. So I just realized, all right, cool. Let me work with what I've got. And they tell you, just work with what you've got. If you've got just a basic smartphone, just work with what you've got. And that's what I've done. So my friend's son, Ron, he's video director. He's always directed videos. He directed Notes, Addison Lee, and he done I think it's Kojo Fun's video. So I've always seen his work. So I thought, you know what, let me award Ron first. So we went to the park, meaning just to shoot a promo video, which I must admit, a lot of people thought we'd done it on DSLR cameras. We just done it on my iPhone.
Right.
Is what I done. I bought a gimbal device. It's more of a stabilizer, but it's got a software on it. So that's what I done. Shot the video. Then I spun it around and said, Ron, you know what Pride and Gift is about? He said, yeah. I said, I'd like to award you a recognition award. And he looked at me like, say, like, serious? He said, no one's ever given me nothing.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's been shooting videos prior to that, about 3-4 years. Because at the time, I think on at the time, 2018, he might have been 18 or 19. So all the videos I mentioned that he directed and co-directed, he'd done that before.
Right.
Yeah, so his CVs was always good. When I saw his reaction, just me and him in the park, I was like, okay. His reaction is what you want, but you don't always get the reaction you want. I was like, okay, this can work. So he took the footage. It took the brother 4 weeks to give me back my own video of him. 4 weeks. I'll tell you what I've done after that, because I learned to edit myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Because YouTube is your greatest friend when you're doing something. Believe me.
Yeah.
I came back the video and I put that first video out December 2018. Ladies, I have to say, the way the community received that video, I was actually speechless. It takes a lot to make me speechless, right? But I didn't even sit on my morals or nothing. I know, fantastic, I enjoy the moment. It's time to kick on with the next one, because I know what it's like. And this is why I built Proud and Gifted, because I wanted a space that somebody, just say like yourselves, could show your niece, your cousins, or anyone.
Yeah.
All right, there's a platform. Look at this platform and look at all these young people that represent yourself. And then you can always go there and find the space. That's why I built Proud and Gifted, because I couldn't find a space to show my niece or any one of my family members, young people that are just doing positive things.
Yeah. Not
one drop of negative. We know there's a negative side to everybody, but the way the media hangs on to the negative side for young people, I believe they're a minority.
Right.
But they hug the headlines.
Right.
I said, right, this is it. I'm just going to show nothing but positive videos. So that's the real reason why I Proud and Gifted, because I always thought that young people get a raw deal in the media. I'm not fighting the media, but I just believe that they get a raw deal.
Do you think it's young people, specific colours, or young people generally?
You know what? I'm going to say, sorry to cut you, I'm going to say generally. However, my page is predominantly for black, or okay, just use the word BAME, even though they're trying to change it. For BAME, for children, is it children of colour then? Children of colour, they always get a raw deal in the media. So the answer is yes. When there's a knife incident, let's say within the London area, I'm not saying use lot, but some people, their first thought, because of what they said, must be a black boy that was involved. And until you see it, that's how some people see our young people. So that's why I said, okay, it's not a problem. I'm going to stay on the positive side. And and it's 2.5 years, just
Right.
under 2.5 years, that I believe I'm one of the most consistent platforms that celebrates young people.
Mm.
All right.
So that's not blowing my trumpet. I'm just saying that Proud and Gifted is one of the most consistent, sharing nothing but positive stories, energy of our young people.
Mm.
Yeah. So how do you do it? Is there a referral system? How do you get your cases? Are there young people that you might work with that are a little troubled, but because of your work, you've managed to spin it around so it is a positive to achieve? How does it work?
I'll tell you how it works.
Right.
People have disagreed with how Proud and Gifted works. They're always in my DMs. Basically, any young person that's turned their life around, I tend not to award them. I'm going to tell you why.
Right.
One, I'm one of the biggest fans of young people turn their life around because I work in a police station supporting juveniles.
Right.
So I've been in it for 11 years now. I'm one of their biggest fans. But I just believe that we've got young people that's never got in trouble.
Right.
That are doing amazing things in their life.
Yeah.
And they need recognition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm in a system where I see when a young person gets in trouble, which is for any reason, obviously circumstances put young people in a certain place. The help they get is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had young people say to me, why is my man always going on residential trips? I know he gets in trouble, but no one takes me anywhere.
And and he's the young person that is going to school, doing what they need to do, keeping out of trouble, getting good grades, doesn't get rewarded. Basically.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what? And it's grades. It could be anything. A young person could have attended school the entire curriculum year, never been late. Just simple things like that. So going back to what we do, we research young people. Anybody can nominate young people to our platform, and we answer, without exaggerating, say 95% of our DMs and emails. But we see young people's story. We have to paint a picture first to make sure this story is consistent, basically.
Right.
Then we then contact the social medias, because most of them are run by legal guardians. So we get their permission to arrange to meet them. Once upon a time, it was a secret, but now young people kind of know who Proud and Gifted is. So if I'm in a place, but that doesn't deter anything, because once I ask a young person to tell me their story, I will find I've worked out a way already of how I'm going to surprise them with their award. So pre-COVID, I would award, if they're, say, 13 or under, they will get a personalized medal with their name on it and a message. And my medals, by the way, are sponsored by James Shoe Care.
Okay.
Yeah. Approached him before lockdown, because I did message him, but I knew he didn't get the message. I thought, it's business, let me just chase it up. And he said straight away, Steve, no problem. So he was awarding me, I think, 4 medals a month. So that's what we was doing. And if you're over, say, 13-ish, I will give them a certificate. But now now we're about to move out of COVID. The whole recognition's changed now, because everybody's going to receive an award from Proud and Gifted.
Right.
Because according to my advisor, Gary Hugham, he said, Steve, think.
Okay.
When adults win trophies, what's the one thing they love when they receive is their medal. And I was like, that's true. And he said, Steve, I know what you're saying. So that's why we're going to move it on. And the whole recognition thing is going to change.
Okay. And just get bigger and better.
Yeah.
Put the work in, support our youth, them.
Do you think that there's enough role models, or do you think that there needs to be more establishments like you?
getting to your second part, yes, I want 100 organizations like me. It's not about because I'm doing it. There's enough for everybody to go around to celebrate young people. So when I first started it, like during lockdown, I see a few pages did start to do the same thing, but I know within myself, it's about being consistent. So if they're not consistent, and the majority of them pages now, they ain't posted since 2020.
Right.
Which is fine, but I wish they stayed doing what they was doing. But it's very easy to celebrate young people. But it's about being consistent and not reverting back to negative stories.
Right.
The question about role models, I'm going to say, yes, we have enough role models. However, young people tend to look at celebrities.
Right.
Right.
Whereas local people, just say local people like ourselves, they tend not to think that we've got much to give them. So they like to reach out to celebrities who ain't never, majority of them ain't gonna ever contact them anyway. And they look up to these people, and as you see in the media, everyone's human, everyone's normal. Celebrities make mistakes. Then the young person, believe it or not, they feel let down by that celebrity.
Right.
So yes, you know what? We have got role models. Manhood Academy, Womanhood Academy, Mentivity, United Borders, even Armani Simpson, we have role models. But the celebrity lifestyle, it captures the young person's imagination and they want to be like them. So they're looking at a celebrity for financial like advice, but that celebrity might just be a singer, not necessarily have the financial mindset to help and elevate a young person. That's just my opinion. So yes, Trisha, I think there is role models, but it's just what for, man? Both of your role models, what you're doing now, young girls will look up to you and think, oh, I want to do a talk show.
Yeah.
We know that, but it's how they see it.
So, Go on that.
Yeah, so I was going to say, so with that in mind, as a young Black man growing up, do you feel like there were enough good role models or organizations or anything in place like Proud and Gifted to support young people? Or did you realize there was a gap in the market from them?
Yeah. I wish Proud and Gifted and the organizations I mentioned were around when I was growing up. I come from good stock, so I was all right. But even though I grew up in a square, which is hood, ghetto, but I had the fear of my parents, which in my mum's about just 5 foot and change, but Doris, no joke, boy, I tell you. So I don't think I ever feared my dad because he had a bad upbringing, so he always said he won't put it on his children.
Right.
So my mum, Doris done the work. I wish there was organizations like mine because it would have made us elevate more in life, seeing that somebody else outside of my circle is proud of what I'm doing. I don't know this person, but they're proud of what I'm doing. They're sharing my story for everybody to see. So it would have helped. It would have helped me personally. People I looked up to was on my estate. And then once I got older, I realized, okay, I never really had nothing, but it's what was around me.
Yeah.
We've got some comments coming through for you. Someone said we have to, Olu, I think Olu works with young people as well. If you want to jump on later, Olu, let us know. We have to be considered in the role models we present before our young people. It's all about the journey.
Yeah.
Roger said he wished the same thing. There were lots of lost men out there and would have made real use of such a resource.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. But you said earlier that you don't tend to celebrate the people who turn their life around.
No.
And I get exactly why.
Mhm.
But do you think like some of the environments, like the relationships that are going on between men and women at the moment has something to do with some of the young people that are suffering or are
Yes,
that
because
are a cause of concern? So,
Yeah.
I mean, are you basically saying that there's enough resources out there helping them? Or do you still help them if need be, or do you still award them if need be?
as I said, I think let me let everybody know what I do. My job, even though my friends think I don't work, but I do work, honestly, right? I'm an appropriate adult, whereas I support and assist vulnerable people when they get arrested in the police station.
Right.
I'm there to protect their rights under the PACE law. I think that came in 1984.
Mhm.
So I've mentored young people from the police station, not part of my job because my job role stops there.
Mhm.
Right.
So I've mentored them, I champion them, but I just think leading back to Proud and Gifted,
Yeah.
it's not that I don't want to celebrate anyone that's turned their life around,
Mhm.
because I believe we have enough organizations out there that support them
Do that.
and do that. Yeah. It's
Right.
not that I want to step on no one's shoes, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay in this little lane and just keep celebrating and championing our young people. And the ones that have turned their life around, them organizations that they're doing a fantastic job to remind them of the journey that they've taken.
Right. So it's like you capture the ones that can easily kind of slide off the radar and kind of get lost in translation because there's nothing really going. Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously I've seen kids get exploited by county lines, sexual exploitation.
Right.
And sometimes it just takes, as they say, an elder to lure that young person in here. And I don't care anyone that does things like that. Me, they got bad heart because you're leaning on a vulnerable young person
Yeah.
straight, and you're saying to them, after you've captured their mind mentally, you're offering them trainers, this and that. But what they're doing as a result of that, nah, man, that's what's killing my young people.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I hear you. But like you said, it is about celebrating some of the wonderful young people that we have out here, and we're going to admit Gabriel. So do you want to introduce him?
I'm looking forward to speaking.
No. You know what? I want you to introduce him, and then I'll add on after that. That's no problem.
Okay, so Gabriel is a young man. From what I've read and researched, he's written a book. He has done interviews, interviewing gang members and trying to understand. He doesn't seem like the average young person to me, at all. I'm interested to see what his spiritual beliefs are, what his household. I'm interested to see if education was big in the household, that kind of thing, because he just seems beyond his years.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I've gathered. Oh, wow, this youth's not, because even when we was thinking about the questions that we wanted to ask him, we was like, okay, well, let's make them open-ended, because sometimes young people could be like, yes, no. Yeah. Then I went on and researched him. I was like, nah, this youth's gonna talk.
Yeah.
Written a whole book.
Yeah.
A whole book. So excited to speak to him. I'm gonna admit him now. Hi. Oh, I always do say hi.
Hello.
Gabriel, my G.
Yes, hello, everyone. Hello. Everyone's all right?
How are you?
Yep, I'm fine, thank you. How are you guys?
We're good. We're so pleased to have you on today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, no problem.
And can I say to everybody that is watching, Gabriel is a prime example of why I built Proud and Gifted.
Thank you.
Trisha, when, like you, when I researched him, I was like, oh my God. But then I saw him, then he came on ITV. And with me, once they come on TV, in the beginning, I used to think I've missed my chance.
Right.
But I know what to do, because in a couple of days, everyone's going to forget the young person's story. And that's when Proud and Gifted contacts them. And I went live with Gabriel, and I have to say, he's going to blow you lot away.
Thank you. No,
we're ready.
I enjoyed that interview as well. So thank you for supporting me in my career. Thank you.
No problem.
Oh.
So just to reconfirm for everybody, how old are you, sir?
Currently I'm 18. When I wrote my book, I was 17 years old.
17 when you wrote.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So let's get into it.
Let's. Okay.
Yeah. So have you always, sorry, my brain is flat today, so let me liven myself up.
Yeah.
So have you always been a writer has that always been your thing?
I would say so, you know. I guess I would say for a long time I've had like two main passions, which are writing and music. Music has actually been like, a lot of people before I published my book have known me more as a musician. I play piano. I've started producing recently as well. So like people know me for music, but as soon as I wrote my book, people saw me as a writer. They know me as Gabriel Dedji, the author. But since I was young, I've been writing a lot. So I used to write like short stories, you know, anytime there was like creative writing in school, I was good at that. And even when it came to GCSEs, all my teachers saw that I had a talent. I would always get like full marks for like the creative writing questions. So they saw that talent in me as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to answer anything, Natalie?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so was as well as writing, so you said you've always had a passion for writing, was reading like a big thing for you growing up? Did you read a lot of things from diverse authors?
Definitely. When I was younger, I think even now, I'll say Mallory Blackman for sure. That's one of my favorite authors. So like she wrote Noughts and Crosses.
Repeat
Mallory
that.
Blackman.
Mallory Blackman. We'll write that down. Yeah.
Teaching us today.
Loads of people know like Noughts and Crosses. So that's like this amazing book where it's like the world upside down, where like black people are in a position of power as opposed to white people, and like it basically retells history from like this fictional reverse like perspective. I think I read that when I was like 10, and ever since then, like I've just continued to read like books that she writes. Her way of writing, I think, has inspired mine. Another thing, like a non-fiction book. So around the time of the riots, I read David Lammy's Out of the Ashes, which is, I think, the first time I'd ever read a non-fiction book. That deeply inspired me as well. So like both of those are two black writers. And like, yeah, as I've grown up, I've just continued. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, Chinua Achebe, like black writers have been inspirational to me. I enjoy reading the work of writers of any background.
So this is from young, because you're talking about the riots. So you was little.
Yeah.
I was a child.
Little.
Beyond
yes.
Yes.
So you've been doing this.
Yeah, definitely. Like ever since I was young, my sister used to put me into like reading competitions. I'll say family played a big role in that. I was like, any books I could find on shelves at home, I was reading to see what it was saying. If I had like new words, I was immediately putting it into my own vocabulary, trying to use it wherever I could. I've always been reading since I was young. I think that's something that's been integral to me, and I try to make sure that I continue reading. I encourage everyone to read. It's fantastic because it's very beneficial to everyone.
It really is.
Are
you good at maths?
Am I good at maths? I did well for my GCSEs. My mum made sure of that. I'm not bad at maths at all.
Your mum's a science teacher, right?
Yeah, my mum's a science teacher. For her, maths is like the important. That's like the key. That's number one. And even now, as part of my degree, like we have a lot of statistics to do. So I do still have to engage in maths. I don't enjoy it, but I have to. I still do.
Oh dear. So can you give us a little explain your book, what your book is about?
So my book, The Escape, A Tale of Change and Revolution. So essentially this is a novel that is kind of a fantasy novel that plays into like a lot of the problems that we have in society today. It's a book that basically follows the narrative of this young boy, Ramel Brathwaite, who like has basically fallen into a life of trouble himself. And it basically shows this pardon me, a mystical mentor, King Keys, the perpetually pensive poet, who basically leads Ramel into a better life. Like, he gives him a purpose, he gives him things to do, and he really inspires him to take a role in bettering his community, and taking them off the course that he's basically fallen into. And I guess that's really reflective of the problems that we have in society today, where a lot of young people don't feel like they have a purpose, they don't have things to do, and then that causes so many other problems. They fall into a life of crime, they fall into all types of social issues. But King Keys, this fantasy mentor, basically lifts Ramel out of that situation, helps him, he elevates him, and he shows him what a role model should be for him, really.
You say a fantasy role model. So what's your spiritual beliefs? What do you mean by that?
So I'm a Christian. My father is a minister. But when I say fantasy, King Keys, the perpetually pensive poet, he can fly. He has all these type of special mind abilities. So this is not just your plain book about a guy from the streets who grows up, because I didn't really want to write a book like that. This is also a superhero novel, you could say. King Keys, the perpetually pensive poet. He's not just any normal mentor. He has all these special abilities. He kind of fights social issues by flying through the skies, etc. So there's so many different elements to it, and that's how it basically plays the role of a fantasy novel, which you don't really see for these type of stories. Now, I think it's a tragedy that Black people, when we see ourselves in stories, we don't really have the privilege of seeing ourselves as superheroes. We don't really have the privilege of seeing ourselves as these fantasy characters. It's always just tragic stories where we're just seeing trauma being repeated.
Absolutely.
Whereas so I think here you can kind of see a superhero character. You can see someone that doesn't just fit into the role of trauma, sadness. There is some kind of superhero element to it.
So I love this. I love that. And you're great, by the way. You're fantastic. And I'll go back to the fact that we don't want to thing on age, but you are 18. So for you to write this book, my thing is, it seems like you have a very healthy interest in social issues and the different things that we're going to, and you sound like you're very aware, because I think that is the problem sometimes, is that sometimes young people, they know but they don't know. But you sound like you're very well aware, and so you're well equipped. What was you could have written about anything, because you're very well versed in literature. What was it about these actual social issues? Is it something that you're passionate about in general? Is that another side to you that?
So around the time that I wrote this, there was I think that was a very, very, very bad year for knife crime in the UK. On the news, all the headlines, you would see that the death rate in London was worse than New York at the beginning of 2017. There was also the fact that at my school there was all these kind of workshops for mentors that were brought in to help young boys evade gang violence. They'll really show the reality and the trauma of stuff that was going in, and as a result, I guess you kind of see that there's a problem there and it affects you in a certain way. I was also a part of the youth parliament, so it's something, not only was I seeing the problem on the news, but I was also engaging with a lot of the statistics, a lot of what the council were saying. And once you get to see that problem from so many different angles, it kind of affects your mind state, it affects your stance towards those issues. I think that's the reason why I was so influenced to write about them. But I don't think I started to write the novel thinking I'm going to write a book about social issues. I started off just writing a book about a scene of a fight. That's what came to my mind. We had being given the brief, just as a fun activity. It wasn't even for an English literature lesson. Just form time at school to write something. And I liked what I wrote. I didn't really finish it in time, so I brought it home and then I continued it into a book. But whilst I was writing, that's when I realized there's so many different social issues that I have an opportunity to write about. I didn't really think I was trying to make a change or do anything big. I just thought this is just what's in my head right now. Let me mention this, let me mention this, let me mention this. And I really saw the effect that it was having as I was writing along.
Sorry, could I interject
Go ahead.
Could you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Gabriel, do me a favor.
Mhm.
When you was writing the book, tell him who knew about the book.
No, no one knew about the book at all. I think it's something I kept to myself. I don't think there was any reason really to tell people about it. There was no one that like I really looked to that was really gonna help me, that was gonna benefit me. I knew what I wanted to do with the book, and like I could look for it myself, and therefore I wrote it like all independently. I think that was something that was really key to me, and that's just my stance on the things that I do. I like to do things independently. I like to work on my own vision alone. I like to see things through to the end myself. So yeah, I didn't share that with anyone at all.
Sorry,
That's
can I say,
amazing.
if anyone's missed that, the young king wrote his book and
Bye.
didn't even tell his parents.
Wow.
He just wrote the book.
That is, as a parent, that is the kind of surprises we like.
Trust me. Salute that you.
It's amazing. It is amazing, and you're doing, again I said amazingly. But as a young person, what do you think about? We're talking about role models, and I can see there's a lot of chat in our live chat about role models. What do you? How do I put this? What would you like to see from role models? Because you are still young, and there's always still someone, even as adults, there's still people that we can look to as mentors and, you know, as role models. What kind of role models do you think as a young person that we need?
I think you can find role models everywhere, you know. I think that what we really need is for those role models to have more of a light shone on them, for them to be more respected in their societies. So like good teachers are great role models. I would say my form tutor when I was in year 10, Mr. Sokol, he's someone that inspired me like to even write about this book. I even like kind of model some characters after him. So great teachers are great role models. Good parents are great role models. I think when parents really endeavor to be good role models, not just in terms of making their students achieve academically, but making sure that their children become good people, I think that really helps like in terms of being role models. So I think that's really effective. I think the people that we see on our TV screens, when they do a good job, it can be really impactful. A lot of these like stars, you can see that, you know, they've come from difficult circumstances, they've worked on themselves, they've been able to achieve. And when you kind of talk about some of those positive stories, that ends up having the effect of having good role models in society. But it's not always about the stars. I think if you look locally to you, if you look closer in your communities, you see so many people who are doing amazing things. You see so many different talents within your community, so many different people with their own stories. And once you learn from the stories and the talents around you, I think you find all types of role models. I think people should really stop trying to look upwards so much and start looking around you. I think you get to see a lot from that.
Wow.
Yeah. Well done. Yeah.
Agree with you there.
Guy's 18.
18, yeah.
And so going back to what Steven was saying, he was saying that Proud and Gifted is definitely a platform that wants to celebrate young people, because there's people like you that are out here doing wonderful things. We're having a mind-blowing conversation with an 18-year-old, and here he is shining a light on it. So the work that you're doing is important. Well done, Steve. This is
amazing.
Yeah, well done.
I've got a question for you. You seem like you're a creative, but you're also a scholar. What pulls you the most? What side?
That's a good question.
I think for everyone who's like in the same position as me, it's always like a massive dilemma. I don't know. I really am passionate about my degree. I chose a degree that I enjoy. So I do study politics and international relations, and there's definitely like an overlap in some of the things that I do in my degree. So I say I focus on my degree the most. Just because there's a lot of weight there. There's a lot of things like I have set deadlines. I have I have grades that I need to meet. I have to do things to a certain standard. And like that's actually, there's external pressure on me, my university, my parents, the fact that I'm paying to do this. Like there's a lot of pressure there. So my degree is like, I would say my priority at the moment. Yeah. However, like I definitely don't neglect my creative like stuff that I do. Like when I have the time to, when I have the ability to, I definitely make sure to like following my creative endeavors. I do like compose music often, and like when I have the time to, I'll like present it to my friends. We'll write songs together. I'll write songs for them. Recently I went to the studio, so I think that was like last week. We spent like an 8-hour day there, because I had the time to. But then immediately I went back to doing my assignments. So I think my degree is definitely like at the moment, well, for the next 2 years, I guess that's my priority. But I don't neglect my creative like endeavors at all.
What genre of music do you make?
This is an interesting question. I'll say that like neo soul or R&B is like the best way that I could just say to someone if they haven't heard it. So that's like I really like Erykah Badu. I really like Jill Scott. I really like Robert Glasper. Artists like that are people who inspire me. I also like rap music, and there's definitely like rap music that inspires the music that I make. So MF Doom, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, etc. So yeah, I think neo soul R&B is like how I describe my music, but you'll definitely hear like different types of genres within the things that I do.
Okay.
Love it.
Thank you.
One more question from me, because I'm nosy like this. So you're, like I said to Steve before you come on, just by the little research that I done, I was like, this guy seems beyond his years. Do you find it difficult to, I suppose, with writing the book and college, well, not college, university, in terms of relationships, is it difficult to find friends and romantic partners that are on the same sort of mindset level as you at this age?
At this age? I don't know. Yeah, that is a very serious question. I think that you do definitely find like young people who are definitely so much more engaged with like important issues nowadays. So I don't think it's hard to find people who are like basically influenced and inspired by issues. But in terms of like maturity, we're all children, I guess, and I can't really say to anyone that they're supposed to be like more mature than their age, because even though we're 18, we basically are still children. I guess I don't really see people who have like the same drive as me for the things that I do. Not that I'm not with like driven people, because like a lot of my friends, they go to top universities. Like a lot of my friends are smart, they're ambitious, they do like, they have their own dreams and they follow them. But at the same time, like when it comes to the things I do, I don't think a lot of people just see what I want to do. Part of that is just because maybe I don't share what I'm trying to do, like as with the book, etc. So I think in like is I don't know, it's a complicated question. I don't think that people are not driven. I'm around driven people, but are they driven by the things that I'm driven by? I don't know.
They don't have to be. They just have to have the same sort of mindset, I guess.
And I would say a lot of my friends are driven.
That's good.
And that's good. And it's important to say that, because I think even me, I feel like what Stephen said was really important at the beginning. We celebrate young people who are achieving and who are doing great. But as a default, your mind always goes to what the concerns are in the community, and our young people are a concern to me. Some things that, you know, but then I had this conversation with our producer, Emma, and Emma was saying to me that our young people are highlighted as troubled in the community, but there are different demographics that are experiencing exactly the same thing. They're just highlighted.
Not highlighted.
Just not highlighted. So even with me, my mind always goes to the default of what the concern is. But you're absolutely right, Steve. It's so important to just shine a light on, actually, no, it's not that Tyrone's killing Steve every day. There are some great achievements and some great examples, and you, my friend, are definitely one of them. So it helps to open up our minds, but it also helps that you say that actually, no, my circle are driven. Their families are probably good. So this narrative that all the families are broken, or do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's not necessarily the case. We need to talk about that more. So, it's great.
And you are a role model. You're 18, but you are a role model. And not just to young people. You've come on here today and inspired, I'm guessing, all the adults sitting on this panel right now and all of our audience. So inspiration and role models can come from anywhere and any age. And you're definitely, I would say, a role model, 100%.
Thank you very much.
This young man speaks so eloquently and is evidence of why we need to change the narrative for our young Black men, raise our expectations for these young people, and it's high five. Yeah.
100%.
Loads of claps and...
Loads of claps.
So, after uni, 5 years from now, what you doing? Where do you see yourself?
Well, I think I want to start working. I definitely do enjoy like the creative stuff, but like I do have a passion for other things in the world. I want to like start writing more in terms of like non-fiction writing. So perhaps that might be in forms of journalism, perhaps that might be in the forms of blogging. I'll see where things take me. And I think with university, especially when you go to like very good universities, you get the benefit of being introduced to so many different career avenues that you wouldn't have even known about before. They wouldn't have even been interested in before. So I think it's an open-ended question. But I have quite a few endeavors that, you know, I would look into. So journalism, A&Ring with music, and then like there's certain like legislation jobs within music as well that I'd be interested in working in as well.
That's amazing.
You see yourself with kids?
Yeah, definitely. When the time's right and when I'm able to,
yes, that's what we like to hear. When the time's right.
And when you're able to.
When you're able to. Oh, thank you. Where can we buy the book? Because I definitely want to get a copy.
Thank you.
Amazon.
Yes, all major online book retailers, so Amazon, Waterstones, WH Smith, and anywhere else where you would like order books online, you can make sure to search The Escape, A Tale of Change and Revolution.
Wow, Waterstones is not easy.
Sorry.
Well done.
You're in Waterstones, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. No.
Could you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Gabriel, show them your book again. Come on. Come on, man.
Love it. Love it.
With your Instagram, where we can find you. Someone wants to know what university you're at.
University College London.
Okay.
So, yes. So my Instagram is Gabriel Dedji. Just DEDJI is how you spell my surname. No underscores, no spaces. My Twitter is GDedji. And I also have a YouTube, which I use infrequently. Gabriel Dedji as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before you all have a final say, I just want to say that today is quite a historical moment for my platform, because I always said during 2020, when I go live, I need to have a young person with me. And this is my first time.
Yeah. I love that. I love that.
First magazine cover as well. And then you started to hit the papers. Remember, Steve?
Yeah, because even though this is about me, I need to bring young people on this journey for them to tell their story, for everybody to hear and see how inspiring and motivating and uplifting they are. And Gabriel is just to me, he's just a standard example of the young people around us.
Yeah.
No, but thank you as well for like bringing me on. You didn't have to, but you've made sure to like include young people, and I'm always appreciative of like the support you offer. So thank you.
No, thank you very much.
Oh, well, keep us in touch. Let us know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
I don't know if you're on Facebook, because young people don't like Facebook, do they?
Yeah, no, I don't use Facebook. Oh, am I still frozen?
You don't use Facebook?
Yeah, no, I don't use Facebook.
No, you're backwards.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get Steve to drop your bits in the comments.
Yeah.
All of your stuff in the comments so that people can follow you and look out for you. I went on to Amazon yesterday. There was only 2 books left, so I need to go back.
Oh,
there was only 2 left on Amazon. So
really? We need to go in there.
Get mine later.
Yeah.
Don't
Well
even try
done.
to reach for your phone. Like, try it.
I'm like,
I'm gonna take a leaf out of your book, literally, and do things in silence.
yeah.
But no, you're inspiring. I wish
You are.
love and success and all of the success you can stand, you know, and all the guidance and protection on this journey of yours.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Blessings.
Keep
to meet you.
inspiring. Seriously. Thank you.
I'll see you online, King. Oh, yeah, because
Yes.
we are always in contact. That's what I
Yeah.
try to. I don't celebrate a young person, then move on.
Mhm.
Well, sorry, I do move on, but I still will DM
Keep that
them,
contact.
share their stories, just to show them that
That's
yes,
important.
you're part of my journey. And to be honest, it wasn't a no-brainer to ask Gabriel to come on, because two things really: for him to sell himself and show people that he's a book author. And I'm glad he told you about the musician side, because obviously I'd leave him to tell you that.
Mhm.
The guy's just inspirational.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you very much
Really
for accepting and coming on.
You're creating legacies at 18.
Wow. Thank you.
Powerful
Literally.
stuff.
Powerful.
Oh, hold on. Gabriel, Proud and Gifted, what do we do?
Celebrate young people's achievements.
He's so sweet as well.
I love it.
Oh,
I love it. Oh, all right, Gabriel. We don't want
thank
to,
you.
unless you want to stay and continue to chat, but we didn't want to take up too much of your time.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. Thank you. I think we've had a good conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
He's like, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Quit while we're ahead.
Thank you.
See you
Thank you.
later.
Have a nice
Yeah, my
evening.
love.
You too, my darling. Take care. Bye-bye.
Now, how could you tell me that ain't rewarding?
Oh, honestly.
To hear an 18-year-old sell himself like that,
Yeah.
showing other young people we're all in the same boat. We all can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
His spirit is powerful. You can feel it. Yeah.
Amazing. People saying, well done, you're making your parents proud.
Yeah.
Well done, young man, proud and gifted and no bravado. We need to see more young people being celebrated. There's many positive stories to tell. Excellent, Steven Oram, says Juliet John Baptiste.
Oh, thank you.
Gina Jones says, well done, big up, clap, 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 clap. No bravado crew showing up. But I was so engrossed, we didn't even check the comments.
Yeah, I was engrossed. I tried to look every so often, but every time he spoke, I was lured in. So I was like, hey, this man, he's 18 years old. Like, he's 18 years old.
I've got 11-year-old, 12-year-old, same level as him.
No.
Really?
Kid you not. There's one girl that I celebrated. She's called Amazing Angel. I awarded her second.
Right.
January 2019. Because I met most of the young people that I celebrated in the beginning, I previously met them and I told their parents, once my platform is up and running, I'm going to come back. And I did. I done a video with Amazing Angel, 6 minutes, one take that girl done it in. I just stood there and held the camera. And my girl sold her book, everything, because she's a little author as well.
Right.
And then I went on a radio station and the guy said, I need to plug this girl's book again. And it doesn't matter, it was BBC Radio London. The guy said, I need to plug this girl again because the way she spoke on your platform, I'm no word of a lie. She's a motivational speaker, book author. And some of these children come from quite big families. So respect the parents, because I think she's got about maybe 4 siblings.
Okay.
Yeah. But you see that girl, my God, I can still hear her ringing in my ears, right? This was like months after. My name is Amazing Angel. The girl is phenomenal.
Right.
So getting back to Gabriel, remember, I get to know young people when I go live with them. And when I first went live with Gabriel, I was like, wow. they help me to move my platform
Mm-hmm.
to the next level, because the way these young people sell their product, it makes me think, okay, maybe Stephen, maybe Proud and Gifted, you need to take a leaf out of their book.
Yeah.
So yeah, level up. Yeah.
And I have no shame in telling anybody that I level up after I meet so much of these young people.
Mm-hmm.
How do you meet them though, Steve? I'm still
Find them, research them, man. They're online. That's honestly.
Right, so you just go online and just see.
I sit.
That's good.
Honestly, my average, a few months ago, I checked how much time I was on Instagram for. And my Instagram said I was on it for one day, nearly 6 to 7 hours.
No.
Check the time, go to bed, wake up. You know how much hours there are in a day?
Yeah.
I had to cut it down. Honestly, I had to cut it down. I had to
Yeah.
cut it down to, I'm down to, I think, 3.5 hours. And sometimes by 6 o'clock, it will say, obviously, you've used your limit for the day. And I'll just say, okay, cool. But I honestly, remember, people send me stories and I see them, and wherever I see it or who sends me, always credit them to say, Trisha, sent this to me, because it's about showing people that you appreciate what they send you.
Yeah.
But honestly, they're there. They're online, or if they ain't got an online presence, before lockdown, I used to go to a lot of events.
Yeah.
And I just go there. I quite enjoyed 2019 because no one kind of knew Proud and Gifted, if I'm honest. I'm going to be honest with you. It was easy to go to these events and just mingle and speak to the young people. But it's a bit harder now, but it's harder in a fun way.
Right.
Because now they know, okay, and even if I don't celebrate them, I will share them in my stories. Because not because I haven't celebrated you yet, I will still share them in my stories.
Pick them up. So apart from Gabriel, what's your other favorite and Angel? What's the other story that gave you chills? What story did you hear that you just was like, wow?
The first one was Amira McQueen. He's called Dipalicious. You might have seen him.
Right.
He's a young vegan chef.
Okay.
2019, he had his own shop at Box Park, Croydon.
Wow.
Yeah. Let me tell you something now. I stood there, right? And I was like, this little kid. And he wanted to meet Levi Roots, because what we tend to do, if we can, we ask them, who'd you like to meet? Kind of in a realistic environment.
Yeah.
And he went to meet Levi Roots, and I arranged for him, and he met Levi Roots at Levi Roots' shop before it shut down in Westfield.
Right.
And when he sat there with Levi Roots, the conversation they had, I was like, mad. Yeah. And I first met him in, I think it was in beginning of 2019. And his mum, Leah, big support of my platform. She said, no, come to the house. So I went there, met the whole family. And to me, I call it his famous kitchen. That's where he cooks from. Yeah. And I stood in there and I was like, oh my God, I'm in your famous kitchen. They all started to laugh. And then he cooked a meal for me, fritters. So he cooked while I was there, filmed him, gave him his award. When I left, I thought I forgot something because the parents called me. They said, no, come back. We need to show you something. When I went back, Mari was crying to say no one's ever given nothing before.
Oh, no. Bless him.
And in my eyes, you're a superstar.
Yeah.
That's how I treat them.
Yeah.
And when that you've got to know, Patricia knows me. You know what I'm like. I gaslight them, no problem.
Yeah.
But in my eyes, you're a superstar.
Yeah.
I'm in awe of you. But yeah. And then he became my first ambassador. Who else really jumped out to me? Oh, young lady called Bianca Mcconey. She writes for the Evening Standard.
Wow. How old is she?
I reckon she turned 20 or 21 the other day, to be honest.
Wow.
Her biggest story, I remember, I awarded her 2019.
Right. Yeah.
During lockdown, she had a front page spread of Harry and Meghan on the Evening Standard.
Wow.
Wow.
That was her story.
Wow.
Again, You know what? I've never met. That's the weirdest thing, because some people I used to post them their certificates. I've never physically met, because every time we tried to meet, it was kind of a bit hard. I'm yet to meet her, but the way this young lady is in regards reports in the media, she's phenomenal. And again, 20 or 21, around that age. And another person.
They're doing their thing.
Sorry?
They're doing their thing. They are. And it's this has been a reminder for me, because like I said, I where we work, what we see, like where we work, the kids are not bad actually. But during my 18 years of working in social care, I've worked with youth, and there's definitely been some great stories, but like I said earlier, you tend to focus on the not so great stories.
Yeah, we all do it. It's not just you. We all do it. It's just, I don't know. Obviously, I've sat there with people.
The narrative that's fed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's trying to change that narrative. Like Oliver said, the culture of celebrating success is something that some young children are still not comfortable with. In some corners, it's considered not cool. What do you say to that?
Yeah. So what was the gentleman's name?
Olu.
Yeah, Olu, thanks for that message. He's partly right. I'll tell you why. You know, in school, if you're a goody, people tease you about that.
No banana skin after you.
Yeah. So I've awarded the odd young person who, believe it or not, was actually embarrassed.
Right.
Stoned embarrassed. And I'm saying, whoa. One of them did say to me one time, I don't know what my friends might think. I said, I'm going to tell you something now, because his parents were standing there. I said, your friends ain't standing next to you right now. And whereas we are, because we're awarding you for something amazing that you've done.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what your friends would think, because some of them, I believe, would want to happen to them what's happened to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and he said, but he was still embarrassed. So the question is true. And that's why, not just me, all of us, we can just keep awarding our young people around us just for finishing your homework for the last, month then?
Normalize it.
Award them. Show other people what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's not that you're like hyping up your own child, but children, remember when we was going to school, obviously many years ago, we used to get certificates at school. Remember them little things? School stopped doing that.
Yeah. And a little blue ribbon.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You understand? We used to get little awards.
Yeah.
How excited was you as a child to get that?
Yeah.
For the world. But because all that's gone, and this image is like, nah, man, them things are stupidness to other people.
Yeah.
But secretly, as we look at Gabriel, some young people do look up to him and think, why can't I be like him?
Yeah.
But they're saying it secretly. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes, the stigma's still there to be embarrassed, but no, I think with social media, a lot of young people like to be celebrated. They like their things to be shared, and that's why I do it. If you noticed, yesterday or day before, I was sharing this like crazy.
Yeah.
Because again, it's down to appreciation.
Yeah.
And that's what young people just need. They need people just to shout loud about them even more.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking, especially when Trisha was talking about, working with young people over the years, and in our organisation called What Next, we look at things like health and social care and healthcare. And one of the things that come up is that there are a lot of Black people working in healthcare and health and social care, but it's not usually in leadership roles. And it's usually working with very difficult and traumatic cases. So we work a lot around hardship and trauma and difficulty and dysfunction. And so to have a platform and to work actively where you're actually working in a different energy, where you can celebrate and get that kind of uplifting, and your work is literally celebration. and celebrating young people, instead of it just being all the time fixing, resolving. And we never really have that true kind of the power, because we're not really in those positions of power to create the change that we would really want to see. But it's still, we are the ones that are there to kind of fix it, to be the stronghold, to be the muscle, to be the relatable people there. So we take on a lot in that sense. So to kind of be able to do that on the reverse as well, where you can actually work in the energy of celebration, of things that are uplifting and empowering, because these young people, again, as you say, they inspire you. You might think, you know what, I'm going to do that. Or you know what, they've inspired us. We've had a young person that inspired us where we've worked before. So it's nice, even on that element as well, where, yes, we can also work in this kind of energy instead of kind of not just trauma and dysfunction and kind of fixing.
Yeah.
Wait, Trisha, hold your thought. You're going to say something, right? Getting back to what you're saying, Natalie, the young person that inspired you, lot, honestly, did anyone celebrate them?
Not like that. I mean, we gave her kudos, and we, every time we speak to her or spoke to her, always kind of gave her that kind of confidence and just reminded her of who she was, because I think sometimes she forgot or didn't realize how powerful and how thingy she was. But like an actual award, like on the level of what you're doing, no.
But however, you have celebrated her in a different way, whereas every time you speak to her after that, you said you uplifted her and reminded her of her values.
Yeah.
So you have done it, but just in a different way.
No, but I tell you what, though, going back to what you said, Steve, because I remembered when I first started Diva Choice, there was this girl called Hazel. Well, there is a girl called Hazel that does, she used to do an academy as well for young people. And she used to do these platforms for people in small businesses and put on events where we could all come and sell out. And I'll never forget her. To Inspire is her company name, yeah? And she put on these events so that we can go, you're on mute, Natalie. Put on these events where we could go.
Sorry, the kids.
Oh, okay. Put on these events where we could go sell our stuff. And then she would give awards out for people who presented the best. And the first award I got for Diva Choice was from her. I was a big person, but the way how I was posing up with my award, and I've still got it. That was my first award for Diva Choice.
Right.
I got 3, but that was my first award.
But again, you was excited.
Excited.
And you're still are, but you're telling the story.
Excited.
Right. So as I said to you, all I've done, honestly, is just obviously reversed it and just put the focus on young people.
Yeah.
Like there's a dancer called Princess K that I awarded. Her mum was speaking to me about 8 months before I awarded her. Her Instagram followers is 100,000. So I couldn't see. I kept asking the mum, like, why do you want me to award your daughter? Which I want to do it anyway. She goes, Stephen, she goes, you will know one day. Met them at the Business Design Center, awarded her, and she turned and said to me straight, I've never got a medal at school before.
No.
And I was like, again, remember, I've judged her based on her social media. She got 100,000 followers Instagram.
Right.
She led Stormzy out at his his only Glastonbury show 2019. She led him out as the lead dancer. And Princess K is, I think she's 11 or 12.
Right.
Yeah, she led him out. So her status is big. But when she turned and said to me, she was walking, flicking her medal. I've still got the video because I did share it. I've never got a medal at school before. The mum said, Stephen, that's why I want you to award my daughter. And I did apologize to the mum to say, obviously, I prejudged your outfit because the girl is active.
Big. Yeah.
But she goes,
but that
Stephen.
small thing mattered.
Yeah. And the mum was, even up to this day, they're still in contact with me. She was on ITV a few weeks ago. They wanted a t-shirt. I sent it to them, but they did blanket out. But I told her they would do that anyway. It depends on the show. But it goes back to what you're saying, Trisha. You received an award long time ago. You got it for your business. Now you can see why the organizer done it.
Yeah.
Because you're still talking about it now.
We're talking about it now, definitely. Do you get any resistance from members of our community or parents that don't want you to do it for whatever reason?
Yeah, I've had people in my DMs. Why are you celebrating these young people when they can go out there, get $1 million deal, £1 million deal, and they don't give you nothing? And I've said to them,
no.
Yeah, it's your opinion, but I tell them, remember one thing. I'm just sharing their story for if not the community, the world to see.
Right.
They've done the work. Yeah, but I can't see. I've had people say to me, I've noticed on your page, it's all black kids. There's like one white person. I said, yeah, that's fine. You gave my stories, I'll share them like mad. I'll tell you why that is. There was a YouTube thing called, I think it was vid.com. I studied them the weekend. And a lot of the young kids, it was reverse. They shared like their black friends in their stories, but not on their main page. And I was like, remember, stories disappear after 24 hours, isn't it? So they keep their page exclusive to what they're doing. But and one of them, there was no black kids on their page at all. And this girl had like 500,000 followers. Right. And I was like, okay, so it's not a game, but I can see how you've constructed your page. So that's why I do it, Proud and Gifted. But oh yeah, I'll get a lot of people say to me, oh, what you're doing is waste of time, but they don't know. Steven don't care.
Yeah.
Don't care.
Yeah.
You're entitled to your opinion, just like me. But I do get quite a few DMs.
Yeah.
That are against what I'm doing.
Close the kitchen window. Yeah.
Wow. And it's our community.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just gonna say this because it's how I feel. I feel like we always have to kind of apologize if we kind of spotlight our own. Then it's what about this and what about that? And sometimes it's just like, no, we're spotlighting them. The end. No explanation needed, because no one else ever has to explain why it's just that or it's just this. Yeah. But we have to then kind of explain why. And it's just because I think it should just be because they deserve it, the end, or because I want to, because no one else has to kind of go hard and explain why we're kind of at the bottom of the totem pole for everything when it comes to other races and communities and stuff like that. So,
but however, I've had two people give me two good examples. And one's my friend named Paul, a very good example. And that made me think. I said, he goes, remember, there's a white boy in a council estate, just like us, who will have it twice as hard as the other kids on the estate. But the way people look at him, because he's white, they're thinking he won't have it hard.
Right.
And I have to say, when Paul broke it down to me like that, I thought, that's true. He goes, Johnny's sitting up in his bedroom.
Yeah.
He's suffering as well. But because he's white, the local community is going to believe, oh, he's all right. He will be all right in the end, which is not really the case.
It's not necessarily the case.
And then when I went to Eton, there's a guy called Ash. I must admit, the way he was all for Proud and Gifted, because we got invited there for their first ever Black History Month. But just hearing him talk, as he's actually Jewish as well, he made me realize that, my page doesn't need to be just of Black children or children of color, because there is amazing young white kids out there doing amazing things. But I just think I've never found a platform that celebrated our children. That's the other reason. But my friend Paul did make a good point about Johnny sitting in his bedroom. Yeah. And it always stick with me, because I'm thinking, that's true,
Yeah.
Yeah, it is true.
Yeah, but
celebration is celebration. But because it's like my company, Diva Choice, my target market is Black women and women like me, real women like me. But of course, I'm not going to say that no white women can't shop at my place. Do you know what I mean? It's for women, but I make no bones about putting Black women on the campaigns and ensuring that we are included and celebrated as well. So it's the same thing. Yeah.
And what you're doing with these platforms, Diva Choice and Proud and Gifted, is there's not many safe spaces for us. Let's face it. As Black people, especially as Black women or as Black young people. So by doing that kind of unapologetically, without kind of isolating anyone else, you're creating those safe spaces where people can feel comfortable, and you're normalizing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you very much. But yeah, I think Natalie said it. We kind of always have to explain ourselves that little bit more. And that should not be the case, but it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to ask as well is that, like Natalie explained, she's got What Next, and it looks at different areas in our community.
I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So one of the things I think is important is that we start to build each other. So I know you've got a GoFundMe. What can we do? And everyone that's watching, first of all, everyone that's watching, share the video to make it a bit bigger.
Yeah.
What could we do to support you so that you could put building blocks in place to make this thing even bigger?
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
I'm having a moment here why we're so in sync. I was going to ask that exact same question. And sorry, I wasn't going to say anything, but I had to say something because that's mad. I was going to ask the exact same question in the exact same way. What can we do as a wider community to propel Proud and Gifted? Because it needs, like, you're doing really well when you're out there. But obviously, if we can do as a community or as a wider group anything, what is it?
Are you a registered charity?
No, we I'm registered by guarantee.
Right.
I don't really want to go down the charity route yet.
Right.
Because I've done my research. Obviously, I can think about CIC, but it's just the answering to people at the moment. I just think we're going to get into that space, but not right now, because
not right now.
We're building other things.
Yeah.
I hear you.
And the answer to your question, again, I had a GoFund. I shut it down. But I'm going to restart it again. All the community can do for Proud and Gifted is just share our platform. I'm not asking for anything else. When I post stuff, you might not have noticed, I don't put please share, please share. I like people to share it if they feel like sharing it and if they like the content. All they got, my online shop is going up any day now. For the platform, just share it.
Yeah.
And the main thing, nominate young people.
Ollie, we'll let you in a minute. Sorry. Go on.
And nominate young people. Just keep. You can send us a message. We're on all social medias as Proud and Gifted.
Yeah.
You message us, nominate a young person. We'll respond. Obviously, not every young person will get celebrated. However, they will get recognized.
Right.
We will share their page, share their story. We'll let them see that we have seen your story, and we're going to do the same and share it for you.
Yeah, and share.
But the honest question is, obviously, once my GoFund link goes back up, please donate and just share our thing. Just to share it, because sharing goes a long way.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
We've got a member that wants to jump on and have a chat with you. You all right? You up for that? Hey.
And talking about sharing, like, your stuff is easy to share.
Easy.
I share it because it's not no dry content that you put out.
Easy.
No, it's not.
It's not no dry content. It's never dull, and it's always inspiring.
Hi, good evening, Ollie.
Hi, Ollie.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you for joining.
Good evening, young man. Good evening,
Thank
young
you.
man. Yeah. What I'd like to say, I've heard what you said this evening. You're doing some great stuff. And I'm really pleased that you're actually using your platform to celebrate the unheard young Black voices in our schools. I work in schools. I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for nearly 20 years.
Wicked.
And one of the things that we struggled with is actually getting young people to be proud of owning their success. as you've seen, there's been many times we've had award ceremonies and they won't even come up.
Yes.
They won't even come up because
Yeah, but I can get them up. I can get them up.
It's all about this thing about, oh, it's not cool.
Yeah.
It's celebrating academic success or even successes in other areas. However, if it's something to do with like, oh, singing, dancing, oh, they're quick to celebrate that.
Right.
You see now. So it's all about changing the narrative and saying we are successful in many areas, many arenas, not just the sport, music. You know, like this young man, if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't have heard of him.
Right.
But I know, having worked in schools, there are many stories of young Black people doing amazing things that we never hear about.
And can I just say what you're saying, sir?
Yeah.
If you look on my page, and this is no disrespect to no young person, but I would celebrate, I used to say, one dancer, one singer. Other than that, you can see me, I've gone to book authors. I've gone to youth council. There's so much arenas that we're in that when it comes to the music and the singing, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
But we have got inspirational young people.
Yeah.
Like chefs, cooks. We got them. Young youth leaders, carers. Don't forget, I've celebrated a carer as well. And from being a carer, the young girl bought out her own hair products because somebody from the Evening Standard picked up on her story, not because of Proud and Gifted, but they picked up on her story. But she was a young carer for her mum. One day, mum just injured her back, took her out, and the girl ended up being a carer for a young brother, sorry. Lucia Loves UK is her name, is lovely girl. But what you're saying, sir, is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very important. I really found today really inspirational. It just resonates with me because having seen them in the chalk face, I know the difficulty that we're fighting. You see, I know. And they just need to own it. You know, you can be successful in other areas apart from the common ones.
Yeah.
You see, and that's very important because, like I said, I've heard of this young man. I'll be spreading the gospel. Your platform, I'll be spreading to people in my networks, you know. But one thing I would suggest you could do is probably get in contact with some schools to let them know what you're doing, because they would give you constant reams of people, young people who are successful, and probably you could actually work with and promote on your platform.
Just to say to that, I had all that lined up.
Yeah.
COVID came.
Yeah. COVID's a mother.
And Trisha, I need to answer a question that you didn't repeat. Did COVID affect my platform? Yes, it did. However, all it meant is that I couldn't meet young people to award them. We gave out one award online. It wasn't the same.
No.
I'm going to put my hands up because I say me, but we at Proud and Gifted, we want that young person to have the spotlight.
Yeah.
So the one award, glad we done it. I haven't done no more. What we done during lockdown to keep the page going, we awarded key workers of all age groups. So we thought, okay, there's a bigger thing than Proud and Gifted right now. So we awarded key workers, young and obviously over 25, just to keep the page going. And it worked a great deal because we got to meet a lot of new people on the way. The page grew, and it's been bad, but it's actually been very good if I'm honest. But I think, you know, the ethos of Proud and Gifted, like the video I done for us today, you know, I was just sitting in the park waiting for my job. Then I thought, you know, let me do a quick video.
Yeah.
And that's why I've done the video, because my thing is scripted, but it's not really scripted. I'm going to tell you what now.
Yeah.
Proud and Gifted is scripted in who we research. But once we get there, we just base it on the vibe we got at the moment.
It's all based on energy.
Yeah. And we have to give that we want that young person to feel so special. And as
Olu.
As Olu said, we want them to think, oh, this ain't cool, but there's nothing I can do now. Accept it. Be proud of who you are, what you're doing, and the biggest thing, just own it.
Yeah.
But the schools, you're going to see us in schools. I think we're waiting till September. Hopefully, everything will be back to normal. And then all I can say is that once lockdown's lifted, you're going to see Proud and Gifted all over your screens.
Yeah, and we're already seeing them all over. I see you everywhere.
Yeah, because I've realised, obviously, niche down on the message, and the message is clear. We're just going to celebrate young people's achievements on the next level.
Can I just also add as well, because it's very important when we try to encourage young people to do well, they see an end goal, and the end goal is that celebration. It's almost like a rites of passage. And when it's taken away from them, it's like, then why am I doing this? I'll give an example. One of my sons, I sent him back to university last year, and he graduated, got first class honours degree. Yeah.
Oh, well
now,
done.
he was denied a celebration because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So he's not worn the gown. He was just sent his certificate through the post. So you can imagine that build up, and then you see now.
Yeah.
So I expect him, these things happen, it's life. However, can you imagine how he would have felt just getting up there, receiving his reward in front of those 1,000 students, me as a proud parent taking their pictures. You see now. So it's very important. Like, I mean, I think Michelle said, you know, go to photography, take a picture. Fine, that's all well and good, but it's important that we find the space and the time to celebrate these young people. It's very important.
And what you're saying is true, because if I graduated last year, I'd have been vexed. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I went to my daughter's graduation, and I went to my wife's graduation.
Yeah.
And the way I see my son look at his mum when she graduated, it was like, yeah, man, I wouldn't mind doing that. Because you're right. That moment in walking up them steps and receiving the little thing they give you, wearing the gown, that's your moment.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, go on, sorry.
Carry on.
I'm saying, at the end of the day, your son, no matter what happens, he's got his honours anyway.
Yeah.
No matter what happens. It's just that.
And what in fact, without being a bit overstating the case, I had 2 sons who graduated last year. Yeah. Right. And what we did as a family, we just said, okay, they both graduated, we just do a family get together, and we did it that way. So that is how we captured the moment. But 2 of my sons who worked extremely hard to get the degrees were denied that. And all I've got as consolation is just their certificates, photocopy certificates. But it's life, isn't it? You have to be resilient. So that's another thing we're teaching these young people as well. You will experience disappointment. It's how you deal with it.
Yeah.
It's just as important how you deal with it.
Yeah. I've got a question for you, Olu. As a teacher, do you see a rise in the amount of young children trying new subjects?
Oh, good question.
Rise in trying new subjects. Are you talking about in terms of curriculum subjects?
Yeah.
Right. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, there used to be a time when it came to picking their options around year 9, where they would be geared towards, do the less academic subjects. So, for example, do the BTEC subjects, do the creative, the sporting. Yeah.
Right.
And I used to feel very strongly about this, because I thought, hold on, these kids have just as much talent as those who push into other areas. They just need an advocate on their behalf. So when I say, are they choosing other subjects? Yes. But the question should be, are they choosing it with the right guidance?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of young people going to universities, picking subjects because it feels good, it sounds nice.
Yeah.
But as I said to my children, think about the end goal. You see, now, if you're going to pick a subject because it feels nice, you're going to put yourself into debt, walk into the workplace, and then find yourself you're not skilled to do anything. So it's all good to study something that you enjoy, but it's more importantly worth studying something you can use at the end. You see,
but are you breaking it down like that because of your profession? Or
yes.
Okay, cool. That's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough.
And also, I mean, like I say, people are coming into contact with, I give them information. And you know what? I'm going to say this now. I've been in teaching for nearly 20 years. And I find it really strange that I could say to a black parent, you know what, do this, do that. And they're like, yeah. But I don't know if it's because of the color of my skin, but I know if a non-BME person gave them the same advice, they take it. Yeah. Let me give an example of that. When we had the exams fiasco last summer, right? I said to a lot of my friends who had young children, I said, listen, because of the amount of teaching time they've lost, they won't be in exams this year now. Oh, how do you know that? I said, because there's too much content to cover.
Yeah.
And if you remember, just before Christmas, the examining board said, oh, we're going to have a scaled down exam and tell you the question in advance. I said, that's not possible. Yeah. So I was giving people the heads up a year ago. So because what I do, in addition to being a teacher, I actually run an online tuition service, a mentoring service.
Wow.
Okay.
So I was in the know in giving people, you know, the heads up. It's only now people saying, oh yeah, you're right. And I tell you when it's really crucial, if you're in year 13, making your UCAS applications, it's very important you understand this, because the predictions that the teachers give, which universities give you a place and off on, is based on that. Yeah, so I'll repeat that. When you apply for a university, you apply in year 13, just before Christmas, based on how the teachers think you're going to get in your exam.
Right. Okay.
Which is why it was problematic this Christmas, because there was no exam. A lot of students did not do a mock exam, which is why now they said there's no exam, but the students have been exposed to a barrage of assessments.
Which are like exams.
Exactly. Like exams, yes.
Yeah.
So you've taken away the pressure of the whole summer exams, but you subjected them to lots of mini tests.
Yeah.
You see now. But I just think it's ironic sometimes when you give information to our people, they're not so receiving it. But if I had a different face, they would yam the information.
They will receive it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a ways to go in terms of the indoctrination and the deprogramming that we have to do. I've got a question for both of you. Do you think that parents are involved enough in their young people's achievements and academic endeavors?
Well, I'll leave the academic side to gentlemen. In the achievement side, I'm going to say yes, because the young people that I'm coming across, their parents are heavily involved, not saying it's their story, but they're heavily involved in what their kids are doing. There's a guy called Julian. He runs an organization called Ultra Kids. Research him.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, research him. He will be a nice guest for yourself, if I'm honest.
Okay.
Because this is what I do. I just tell it as it is.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, parents are involved. I mean, heavily involved. Some of them, it's like if your child's good at football, you got committed parents. I've seen it on the achievement side, and the answer is yes. I believe it's like that in the curriculum side, but I'm not heavily involved in it, so it's just an opinion. But on the achievement side, yes, I get parents always messaging me, emailing me, asking or telling me, this is what my child does, please have a look.
Right.
It's good and it's refreshing to see that parents are going that extra mile to let other people see what their children's doing.
Okay.
So the answer is yes.
Good. Olu?
Very interesting point. It depends on the level of engagement with the school. So there's many factors. Where's the school located? Are you very active in the school life? If you restrict your access to just parent evenings and the odd phone calls, I'd say that's not very good enough. Yeah. Okay. And in my understanding, a lot of parents base their interaction on school on their own personal experiences. So if they thought they had a good deal from the school, they're likely to be more invested. Yeah, because we want parental engagement, because whenever I have to ring up a parent and it's a negative phone call, I say, look, mum, dad, we both want the best for your son or your daughter, yeah? Okay, so it's best we work together.
Yeah.
But all too often, they might be subjected to the negative phone calls. So if you keep getting negative, you're not going to engage with the school because you think you're always calling me to complain about my son or daughter.
Yeah.
You see now. So I think it needs to be a balance. It needs to be a balance. We need to have that honest dialogue with people in our community about how their child is progressing. And if they're not doing well enough, one just, you know, say you're not doing A, B, and C. Okay, this is what we can do to support you without shaming them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, today I had to make 2 phone calls to 2 students who were struggling badly. And I made the point in the classroom to say, you know what, you worked extremely well today. I'm going to phone your parents.
Okay.
And a lot of teachers say that and they don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I phoned their parents, the first thing that their mum said, you know what, my son said he had a good day today. I'm really pleased that you phoned the school because all I get is negative phone calls from the school.
Right.
And these were non-BME kids.
Right.
Right.
You see now. So it's about, you've got to think about being a parent. If you're just receiving negative phone calls, your mindset going to be, oh, what now? What's the child done now?
Yeah, it's when that phone rings, you're going to think, oh, what is it now?
Yeah, what is it
now?
Yeah.
I believe the schools can do much more than what they do regards ringing with positive news.
Yeah.
I don't care. They're snowed under with work, but as you know, that is your job.
Yeah.
If you believe a child's done good, tell a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes a long way. Just tell
It does go a long way.
Yeah.
It does.
Whereas
what you were saying about the ethos of your company anyway is positive. Positive news is just as important as it letting me know what's negative.
I was saying, the mum or the dad could have had a dead day at work. They've come home and their mind's crap as it is. School rings. Young man done well today. You know how that's going to change the evening.
Yeah.
Change the narrative.
Yeah. And you're both parents, right? So you're both parents. So how do you implement, or how has fatherhood impacted on the work that you both do?
Okay, I went first the last time, so my man can go first.
Fatherhood. I wear 2 hats. I wear the professional hat, so I have an insight into the educational process and behind the scenes. So I see how the school sees your child, the things which are said, and then the things which are unsaid. So I use that to inform my decision making when I'm talking to my parents about their children. Yeah. So, for example, my sister, her minister was having problems in year 7 and year 8, and I advised her change schools now, because when he gets to year 9, he picks his options. That mindset they have of him is what they're going to carry to when he finishes his GCSE.
Right.
It was the best thing she ever did, because he went to the new school, had a fresh start, and he left successfully.
Right.
You see now. So I find I'm privileged that I'm in the know, so I can see how they deal with their kids.
Right.
In terms of as a fatherhood, when I talk to my children, I try to give them insight into why it's important to have a good education. I say, listen, it's not going to make you rich. All it will do is give you choices.
Bad, wicked.
So, for example, if you do not have a good education and you have to rely on the state will say, you're going to live in that tower block on this money per week. Take it or leave it. However, if you have an education, you can decide, I don't want to work for company A, I want to work for company B. You see, that's the difference a good education gives you.
Yeah.
Because too often, we are trying to tell our kids, oh, go to school, go to university, and they can see other paths of success, which unless you haven't followed that one.
Yeah.
You see, so we need to be mindful of that. We need to be mindful of that.
I was just about to say, not everyone's a scholar.
Exactly.
Some people are entrepreneurs from young, and all of it just needs to be incorporated. So do you guys think that having schools, like there was a school in Tottenham that was an all-black academy, so black teachers, black children, black students only. Do you think academies like that are a good idea for our youth?
See, I had a friend that came out of that school. I'm not gonna lie to you. Them man that come out educated. He came out educated. Is it good? Is it good? Why not? We've got all white schools.
Yeah.
We have all white schools. As you said, obviously, if you like, maybe even in London, you can find the odd school where that might have. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. As long as they're teaching what needs to be taught. But I don't think there's nothing wrong with it.
Because in my opinion, you know, I don't think that we should be fighting to put Black history on the curriculum. I don't think it's their responsibility to teach. I think it's ours. I also think that the school system is very much for people who are scholars and academics. Not everybody is. It would be nice to have a curriculum that does look at supporting people with business studies or looking at different aspects and like you say, and like what you do, celebrating different aspects. Like, yes, you can, if you're good at university or you're good at English literature and you go off and you get a degree in that, great. But if academics is not your thing, how do we support our youths through entrepreneurship and stuff like that, like channels that way?
Like I said, it comes back to what I just said, having very good positive role models.
Right.
Yeah? Because when you say to a child, oh, go to school, do your levels, go to university, they're like, oh, that's long, man. Especially when they're not enjoying school. You want to do an additional 2 years and then 3 or 4 years university.
And come out with debt.
And come up with debt. So that is not a good sell.
No.
That's not a good sell. So I'd rather say, you know what? Okay, what do you want to do? So I like doing music. Okay. Do you like writing music, producing music, or what? Okay, if that's what you want to do, go for it with your chest 100%. Because these youngsters now have a different experience. They can see success in ways that we haven't seen it. The way they embrace technology and new things it's almost innate.
Right.
That's why a lot of them can write music, know how to read music. When we were at school, you had to know how to read music and play instrument. No, they can hear it and they can pick up very quickly and be successful with it. So we need to embrace that and be aware of it. So again, a lot of our young people who have made a success in playing football, they didn't go to any special school. They just had that talent and was given an opportunity to actually breed it and go to a good club. So we need to be able to spot talent, like I guess has done when he's spotting successes in young Black people, and support it.
Yeah.
And support it. Because I always believe this. The school system is rigged up in such a way that you got to be successful at 16, if not, you're a failure. No.
Yeah.
We want them to get 16, but if they don't, it's okay. They make it to 18. Then we get a 20. Just that the school system is designed at 16, there's a milestone, exams, pass or fail. No, you say to them, education is beyond school. It's nice you can get 16, but if you don't, you might get 18, and encourage that. Rather than saying, you're a failure, demonizing them, you're no good, look at your friend. No. Everyone's got their own talent. It's how you harness that talent.
Right.
Yeah. And getting back to, because I didn't answer Natalie's question about fatherhood.
Yeah.
I think I wear one hat in my house. Yeah, I'm just a big kid in my house, and I sit down. Cause my kids are big. My daughter's 28 this year. My son's 24.
Oh wow!
I'm 51 next month.
Oh,
Wow.
wow!
Looking good.
But yeah, so what you see with me, but when it comes to being a dad, I sit down and I always remind my kids, or even niece and nephews around me, but if we talk about my children, life is about choices. So just know whatever the choice you're gonna make, you can live with it. I do wish, well, they're still young, but I want my kids to end up owning their own business.
Yeah.
I keep telling my daughter at work, if they say, just take all the training you can get. Just take the training, because it changes your mindset and it leads you onto a different path. But when it's time to be a kid in my house, oh yeah, that's me. I ain't gonna lie, because life is about enjoyment. And as a parent, as long as, I always tell my kids, your job back in the day was just to go to school.
Yes.
That's your job. You go to school. Me and your mum's job is to run the house, make sure we can clothe, feed you. But I tell all the kids around me, you got one job. And when a certain family member got expelled on the last day of term as well in July, I said, my man, you couldn't just wait a few hours. No, I was furious because I said, my man, you got one job. To go to school. Oh, uncle, man, boom, boom, boom. And it did have a knock-on effect in his life, but remember, there's always time to turn things around.
Yeah.
Definitely. I got expelled on the last day of school in year 11.
How you manage that? It's not nice.
Without really getting into trouble for the whole of my school life.
I feel
and they
your
were like,
pain.
if you don't do this, you're not going to your NRA night. And I felt so strongly in it. I was like, well, I won't be going to my NRA night.
Boom.
They let me go in the end because they thought, oh, well, that didn't work. But yeah, that happened to me. And my mum was the same. She was like, are you all right? Like, are you kidding? The last day of school, you finish early because you've got GCSEs. Your NRA night is tomorrow, and you're getting expelled on your last full day of school.
Half day of school.
Yeah.
But again, and what I tell a lot of my family members, don't think my kids are perfect.
Yeah.
Lucky for my children that obviously mum and dad still together. And it's only when I got older, my friend was telling me, Steve, living in the square, you had your mum and your dad. I just saw that as a norm.
Right.
But man said to me, I never get raving one night. I asked his brother in years. He said, my man, I always not really envied you, but you grew up with Doris and Luke. So I'm thinking, yeah, and you knew that? He goes, no. I just grew up with my mum. And when the penny dropped, I was like, but to me, it was a norm. My mum and dad were together.
Yeah.
And I always said to him, but you come out good. He goes, yeah, because obviously, it goes back to what we're saying. It's the choices he made. He just didn't want to be, as Ola said, you're going to live in that tower block up there. He said, no, I weren't about that life. I grew up in there. And I'm glad I grew up in the square. The square was rough in Hackney.
Yeah.
You substance, mate, when you grow up in these parts.
It
made me the
person. Character.
Yeah, it really does. Gives you grit.
What? Because I'm going to, when I'm left school, first job, I got people I'm working with, their parents are still making them sandwiches. I said, you think I could tell Doris to make me a sandwich for work? But again, it has changed, and I think there's much more opportunities for young people than when I was growing up.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Way more opportunities. It's if you want it and to grab it, but there's so much. Our days, we had the library. Boom, that was it.
Yeah.
Now they have libraries, even though they're trying to shut a lot of libraries, but they have libraries, they have social media. They have adults like us, because I never really had a lot of people that I can turn to for guidance on the future of where I wanted to go. Nowadays, I'm sure we've all got little family members that invest in you and they hang on to your opinion.
Yeah.
And I just think there's much more for our young people, but some of them want that get rich scheme, and as we said, that video world ain't real, man.
Someone was saying, we were talking about it before, and we were saying that what it is with the youngsters is that if they look to people where the success is already there, they don't even want to know the story. So if you're trying to tell them, do this, do that, do this, do that, they want to see, well, if I do this, do that, what have I got out of it? Because where are you? What have you got out of that?
Was we the same though? See, that's a question.
Well, yeah, I think even as adults, sometimes when you're trying to convince people, you know, this is a long thing, this is, but you've got to go through this to get there. They don't want to do that.
Yeah, I've had young people in custody. I can't lie. One time, this little boy, the way he shot me down, I thought, you know, I would have kicked you down. You know, my man told me straight, my man, what you earn an hour, or he goes, I take it even further. What you earn a year, couple boxes, I've made that. And I said to him, you know what, my man, you're actually right, but there's one difference. I'm going to walk out that police door once I finish speaking to you.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, yeah, that's true, you know. I said, yeah, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Your boxes, it definitely is what I would earn in a year, hands down. But just remember where you're sitting for those boxes.
Yeah. The
sorry,
gamble's
box
too
of
high.
drugs, sorry. To people that don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, no, the gamble's too high. You know, it's people that are going to want to kill you to take your territory, or you're going to end up in jail. So it's therefore jail. And then when you make this illegal money, unless, because it's just like, are you smart enough to wash it and buy properties? What are you doing with this little money? You're still living on the block with a big car, and nice clothes, but there's not much you can do with this illegal money unless you take it a step further. And
but we've seen grown men do the same thing in their 30s, in their 40s.
But it's a mentality thing, isn't it? It's a mentality thing where the priority is stunting more than building and leaving like a legacy or creating or investing.
Right. Here's an example for you.
Right.
All four of us ended up on the negative side of young people.
What?
We've ended up on the negative side.
Negative side of young people.
But
I'm saying, have you noticed that?
But I guess in order for there to keep being progression, you have to. Well, you don't have to.
Don't have to.
You don't think we have to acknowledge anything to do with the negative side at all?
No, we don't need to. We need to get into a space where we can have conversations about the greatness young people are doing.
Can I just add to that as well? Yeah, I think we need to be honest as parents, people in our community about our life story and our journey as well. Because all too often we stand in front of them saying, "Do this, do that," and they're like, "I'll smart for you, sir. You was probably really good at school. You listen." When I tell kids my story in the whole school assemblies, their mouth is like, like yourself, right? You from the square, yeah?
Yeah, I loved it.
I was born in Tottenham, yeah? I went to Homerton House School in Hackney. So I know about that lifestyle, yeah? I left school with no GCSEs. When I told them my story, they're like, "Sir, you're as hard as I got sent back to Nigeria for not listening to my parents."
That's deep.
Oh, you was bad.
You
was a bad you.
Right, I was terrible.
They put you on the plane.
Yeah, right. And by the skin of my teeth, I got back into England because I was ill and I milked it. So when I told the kids that, I said to them, "Listen." When I tell my story, they're on the floor. Even the teachers are like, "Right, I didn't know he was that bad." I said, "Yeah." So I always say to the kids, you can still turn it around if you want to. You got to give them that hope and be honest with your story, your journey.
Yeah.
So now when they see me in school, say, "So I want to be like you." I said, "No, you're gonna be better than me because you don't want to make the mistakes I made."
Right.
But what was the turning point for you? Because sometimes it's like, what is the turning point? What's it gonna take?
There was a significant turning point. I don't know if those who are old enough to remember. Do you remember the Tottenham riots in 1985?
Yeah.
I was born.
I was scared in the square that night. I was frightened.
Right. What actually happened? A group of my friends came knocking on my door saying, "Oh yeah, there's something happening over the farm." About 20 men rolled up outside my yard. I said, "Mum, got to go." She stood in front of that door and said, "You're not going anywhere." I said, "Come out the way." She goes, "You are not going anywhere." That day I didn't go. I was vexed. All my friends got arrested, criminal records. My life took a different turn after that.
Really?
Yeah.
So my mum intervened in a way that I thought, "Mum, if it wasn't for you, my life would take a different course."
Yeah.
You see now. So I always give thanks to that. And also, the penny dropped when I was 18 because I didn't even have 2 GCSEs to rub together like this when I was 18. I left school with nothing, went to college, got kicked out before Christmas, went to another college, got kicked out before Christmas again. So I was 18, I was what you call a proper waste man. And when I tell the kids, they're like, "No," I said, "Yeah, that was me. I was that guy." Big chat, nothing to back it up with. When I was 18 and I saw friends of mine going to university, I'm like, we need to go to school together. Penny dropped. So for the next 2 years, got my head down, banged out my GCSEs, banged out my A-levels, went to uni. Yeah. So I said to the kids, I didn't have the support you things have in place now.
Right.
You see now, technically, the kids don't have to go to school. They can learn all this material online, YouTube, all that sort of stuff, if they're committed to enough. You see now, because you remember when we was in school, we had some dry piece of book, probably no pictures, black and white. That was it. Now they've got video, multimedia, man breaking down the syllabus, man doing exam questions online. All the things we never had, they've got that in place for them. So how badly do you want it? Because when you want to learn that tune and all the lyrics to that tune, you study the video, you come and start doing the little TikTok dances. You got time for that? Read your book.
and on the back of what you're saying, this is why we have Proud and Gifted sitting right there. for them to look at other young people and say
that are actually doing it.
Yeah, and or say if they can do it, why can't I do it?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
That's it in a nutshell.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
Why
So you're
can't I do
creating
it?
a legacy like that, definitely.
Definitely.
Because you're documenting everything that, because you know, mainstream media are not really going to document that. So you're documenting these stories and these people in history. So you're creating, obviously they are the history, but you're kind of documenting that.
Yeah, and it's their story. And and I want people to see, as you said, we had Gabriel on today. I want people to see and hear from the young people themselves of what they're achieving. People can't tell me, oh yeah, but there's more bad kids. No, it's the minority, I believe, that hugs the headlines.
Yeah.
It's a minority.
Definitely.
And unfortunately, we all fall into it, and we share the stuff. Like when I first started Pride and Gifted, I tested it. A young black boy got robbed in McDonald's of his jacket. So I thought, okay, the reason why I shared it, because he went on and told his parents he most probably lost his jacket. That video got viewed 30,000 times in 3 days.
Right.
And what I've done alongside that, I put one of my positive videos. No, please wait. It's still sitting there compared to that video.
So going back to what you said earlier, sorry to cut you, Steve. It's like you said all four of us have ended up on the negative side of young people. Do you think that is just our default as a race? Because what you're saying is if you put up something that's negative, that's got 30,000 views, but your positive video, not so much.
All right, I wouldn't say it's a race. This ain't just a black thing.
I didn't know. Did I say?
Yeah, I'm saying, you said race.
As a human race.
Yeah.
As a race.
Yeah. I've sat down with specialists. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they said there's something in our mind that triggers the negative side, and the brain latches onto more negativity than positive stuff.
Yeah.
So, and we all do it. I've shared, not on Pride and Gifted, but on my page, I will share the odd video. Because I'm not going to sit and tell you that all I share is positive stuff. No, because I'm lying.
Right.
What I share negative is a small amount. Because I guess the mind can't cope with just sharing positive news. I could be wrong, but I have shared the odd negative stuff. I've shared it in WhatsApp. Not anything to do with stabbings. I'm not interested in that. I've never have been anyway.
Stabbings, beatings.
But I have shared negative stuff. I just think it's just the way the mind is set up.
Can I just also contribute there? It also is about being aware of your conscious bias, because as a teacher, I've taught in many different contexts, predominantly diverse schools, rural schools, predominantly white schools. And I've been asked in more than one school, sir, did you go to university? Sir, do you know what, like, for example, I teach maths and computing. Sir, do you know computing? I'm like, hold on, I'm standing in front of you. I'm in the department.
Still asking me.
Are you still asking me? So I'm thinking, wow, I'm a teacher standing in front of you. I'm head of the whole department, and you're still asking me that.
Yeah.
And I don't get vexed. I question. I said, hold on. So what? I just come off the street and stood in front of you.
And just
So you know what it is? What they're trying to compute is there's a black man standing in front of me with all this information. How can he have it? When we see black men, we see them in a negative way.
Yeah.
So I see my job there to say, listen, we're not all like this. I said, look, I can do the posh speaking, but my job is not to impress you. My job is to break it down for you so that you get the information.
Yeah.
You see now.
What made you say my career is going to be teaching, Olu?
When I was younger, I was at school when you could actually give children the slipper in primary school. That's how old I am.
I've got the cane, man. How you mean? I've got cane.
I was getting the cane regular in secondary, but in primary it's a slipper.
Now, how old is everyone here?
I'm 51 next month.
You're 51 next month. Olu.
I'm 55.
Really?
Yeah.
The black doesn't crack.
Right.
Just doesn't crack.
But Natalie, why are you surprised? He's 55. To me, black people look good anyway.
They do, but it's something that will never. I will still always celebrate that. Yeah, you see that there.
Yeah.
Like
55 though, man look good though. I ain't gonna lie.
You can talk, you know. Look at you. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I was gonna say you yourself. Like
Imagine you're 30.
55 king.
when you said you had a 28-year-old, Steve, I was like,
Yeah, my Riri, my Rihanna, my
oh
Riri.
gosh, like she's not far off from 7 years younger than me. So 8 years. I don't even know
55
my
though.
own age.
Man look good.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, but man look good.
Yeah.
You look good.
Yeah.
But also, what
We all
also
do.
shows them is like, see these ends that you live in. I used to live in these ends, but you've got to have the mindset to say you want to come out, because I won't lie to you, we are competing with other images which present a way of making it in a negative fashion. The people who are trapping, people who are drilling, people doing all sorts of stuff. They see that and they think it's easier to, because I know a man who did this, and he's making that, and he's driving that.
Yeah.
And I said to them, yeah, but those people don't live past a certain age, number one. Number two, if you're making real P, you don't live in the ends, you live outside. Real man live outside the ends. So you got to educate these people. I said, number three, if you're making that money and you can't count it because you don't know your maths, you have to pay somebody to count the money for you. And you know what?
And you know what? It's funny you say that, because I've sat with the odd young person in the police station, right? And when I see how one of them struggle to write his date of birth,
Right.
and I'm like, raw. Obviously, he's there for. Remember, anyone that gets arrested, you're innocent to proven guilty. It's an allegation. But my man's in there for food, and I'm thinking, when he wrote his date of birth, yeah, I can't lie to you. It hit me as a parent, because I'm hoping that his parents did sit down with him to see how he wrote. If you see how some of them write their name.
But I remembered when I was working in the schools, I was working with a young boy that was selling drugs, and we just got talking to him, like, what's the problem? And he basically says that he had problems reading. The teacher would make him stand up and read, even though he's got problems reading. Students would laugh at him because he's stuttering or whatever. He brought fights with the student. He gets
in trouble.
He gets flung out of class. He runs into the bigger boys. They give him some alcohol. They make him feel like family stresses at home. And that's how you fall into it. Because again, and this is why I think what you do is so important, it's about celebrating all achievements in all areas. It's not just, it's about passions, isn't it?
Yeah,
because I think if he is feeling humiliated in the classroom, but he was being celebrated in areas in where he was achieving and not just highlighted where he was going wrong, there might have been a different outcome.
But it goes back to what we were saying earlier. A simple, well done today, a simple phone call. I'm sure I could have said more things to my children.
Yeah.
It's like I had my niece last week. She's always good with me anyway, but them girls said, nah, Avery was good. I rang sis. I said, sis, Avery was good last week. She goes, seriously, bro? I said, yeah, because she knows she's not rude with me, fact.
Right.
But Rihanna and my wife said, no, Avery, she was all right. And I made a point to ring sis to say Avery was good.
Yeah.
Following week, she was the total opposite, though. And I haven't phoned my sister yet because I didn't want to spoil her weekend. But I made a point to tell her last week. Yeah, because my sister, well, I said her short fuse as well. Jeez. But but I don't know. Live.
Yeah.
But we all got to remember we was young once as well.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that.
Definitely. And I think that's obviously where Proud and Gifted come in as well, because it's you know, you're celebrating the young people, so it's good for them. But what you're also doing, as well as celebrating it, the more young people that you speak to, the more young people you spotlight and celebrate, you're normalizing this. And that's really important, because these things are not like, oh, sir, even though you're standing in front of me as my teacher, you know how to use a computer. It's not because, and they're asking that, you know why they're asking you that. What, you went to uni? Yes. But it's because it's not normalized. It's not normalized. And I think platforms like yours, as well as celebrating it, normalizes it for the young people and the other youngsters that are coming up as well.
Yeah.
Trisha, can I just add to that? It's very important that role models take significant roles in arenas they wish to change. Let me give you an example. In schools, if you remember back in school, your head of year, what colour was your head of year?
White.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because, well, maybe before time, because in the last 10, 15 years, the head of year tends to be black. And you ask them, why is that? Because they're in charge of behaviour, the naughty kids.
Yes.
Right.
Behaviour.
So subliminally, what we're saying is, you want to change behaviour, put a black teacher in charge.
Yeah.
Right. So when you look at the people in charge of the more academic subjects, they tend to be white people. And when I first got into teaching, I said, hold on, how come he's not in the department in the core subjects black? They tried to steer me into being a pastoral leader, which means being in charge of behaviour. I said, no.
Yeah.
You see now? So sometimes we've got to do our own fight and say no, because I know when I stand in front of those kids, those parents, and I'm in charge of a very important curriculum area, what I'm saying to a kid is, I want to be like you, sir. Just like I had aspirations to be a teacher, by seeing my primary school teacher, some could see me and say, you know what, I want to be like you. And I've had students I've taught who've gone on to teaching. I said, sir, you made me believe when I saw you do it, I believed I could do it.
That's really good.
And today could be very good.
One of those days.
My phone's getting mad. George Floyd, the man got charged guilty for all charges.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wicked.
Because America would have burned down tonight.
It would have.
Anyhow.
It would never have run.
Not even just America, the whole world.
The whole world.
The whole world would have burned down.
I think America said for once, you know what? Let's go for a trial, but this man has got to be found guilty.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're right. If not America, the world, but America was going to burn down tonight.
Yeah. That's going to go down in history, 100%.
They had no choice. I don't care what no one said.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, yeah, man. Celebrating young people, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy.
So, coming out of pandemic, next steps for Proud and Gifted.
Next steps, as I said, gonna be out on the road much more. Gonna aim to celebrate, like, physically, minimum 2, could be going up to 4 young people a month.
Right. Do you host ceremonies like events?
No, I had one planned for 2019, so hopefully this year we'll have our first award ceremony.
So recently you was on a billboard. Walk me through what happened with that. How did you get onto the billboard?
Again, it goes back to Brothers Uplifting Brothers. There's an organization called Mentivity.
Yeah.
Guy called Sace, Leon, and Tyson. They mentor young people, and that was their second exhibition, because they normally highlight people in the community. And I went to support them, as I do. Couldn't believe when I got there and I saw myself on a billboard. Because we did take pictures, so I knew he was going to take pictures, but I'm sure he said to me it was going to be on the next one. So I went there. When I saw myself, I ain't gonna lie, I rang my mommy. I said, Doris. I said, Mommy, I was so excited. I said, I'm on a billboard. She goes, and my mom, she's not showing more. She goes, seriously? I said, yeah. And then they had a second one a few months ago. I didn't know they moved the picture around the other side, so I didn't get to see it, but they celebrated me again. But yeah, basically all they done was celebrate people that's doing well with young people. Not that I find it's funny. When I first started Proud and Gifted, I used to get embarrassed when people used to come up to me to say, oh, well done on what you're doing. I used to get embarrassed. I don't know why. Then I had to snap out of it. But the billboard thing, it just showed me that I'm doing something right. People are acknowledging it. People are loving it. And as a result of that, they're putting a billboard in King's Cross.
Yeah.
Right in King's Cross. Yeah.
Great achievement. Great achievement.
Yeah. No, thank you very much. And what's next for Proud and Gifted? My magazine. I'm gonna bring out. It should have been March, but when I first launched this one in December, we then went into a lockdown, and I think I underestimated the effects of that lockdown in December.
Right.
So all my photo shoots next few months got cancelled. So We've started work on it again, and we're going to bring out magazine. Should be the next 3 months. Again, this is just celebrating young people. And I'd like to do a competition, if that's all right.
Go for it.
In conjunction with No Bravado.
Yep, let's do it.
Whoever answers first in the comments, not my friends, because I will see who it is, yeah? But whoever answers first, they can win, if not a hoodie, a t-shirt. I'm not sure which one yet, but I would get them one. How long has Proud and Gifted been running? Simple question. So you got to watch the comments to see who answers first.
Okay.
That's it.
Olu.
He's not involved because he's on screen with us.
Oh.
But yeah, you're on screen. Sorry.
Wow. So we can't even get a t-shirt.
Nope.
Roger, and if you guys still there, how long did you say?
I did say
3 years.
Michelle said 3 years.
Wrong.
No.
Natalie Gordon said 2 years.
Wrong.
Another 2 years from Janita.
Wrong. I said it.
You did say.
You did. 10.
Guys.
10 years.
Who?
Someone said 10 years.
I wish, but no, sorry.
No.
I wish. Not my job, Proud and Gifted.
So it's not 5, 3, 2, or 10. Is it higher than?
I can't give. If no one, you know what? If no one guesses it.
Michelle said 5 years.
Nope.
8.
Nope. I can hear my family screaming downstairs.
Natalie Gordon said 4 years.
4 years.
Nope.
I thought it was 4. I would have lost, boy. I thought you said 4.
6.
6.
6.
Nope.
Well, then what is it then?
2.5.
Yes.
I said that, by the way. Do I get a t-shirt?
If no one else has answered the comments, then yeah,
no,
you can.
everyone else got it wrong.
Yeah.
So 2.5.
2.5. So what I'll do, you get the t-shirt, and Trisha, I know you want the hat in it, Trisha.
I want a hat.
Yeah, fine. That's no problem.
I want a black t-shirt as well.
You've only got
I'll
one
buy it,
competition winner. I've got
I'll
one
buy
competition winner. I'm just saying. But yeah, I
will buy it. I want a black
you know what?
t-shirt and a hat.
No, but you supported me
Extra
the last
large,
time, so
please. Thank you.
you supported me the first time round, so we'll sort something out. But it was a fair competition, and no one got the right answer. Wait,
No.
Natalie Gordon, is that the cake lady?
Yes.
Natalie, how you get that wrong? Come on, Natalie, man.
She just said I was close, and she's put laugh out loud.
Come on, Natalie, man.
She was close because she said she did a few, and she did say she said 2 years and 4 years.
No,
Yeah,
2.5. Come on, Natalie. Wait till I see Natalie anyway. Watch.
One of the Natalie's got it.
Yeah.
One of the Natalie's got it.
But yeah, so yeah, what's next for Proud Gifted? It's just get back out on the road to celebrate young people. Obviously, we're going to take it to another level. The future plans. I plan to open a clothing shop. I'm gonna
Online.
No, physical.
Physical. Okay.
Yeah. Been studying videos for the last 6 months doing that. So start small first, pop up, see how that works, and then just flood the place with merchandise. And I've got
to do a Diva Choice and Proud and Gifted collab.
Please, like I said, it's something that would help my platform. So just like today, look, I met new gentlemen today. You got people in the comments. Collaborations work.
Yeah, because where my stockists at the moment is an initiative backed by Islington Council.
Yeah.
So they take designers in and help you to grow. And I'm thinking there's so many doors there, like I can make an introduction so that you could put some of your stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
But then there's also stuff that you could do with Islington Council if you start talking to the right people, because it's...
And you asked a question earlier, what could you do? You've just answered it, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, no.
So you can get a free t-shirt. No problem. You can get a free t-shirt.
Definitely. Get your GoFundMe link back up so that
Yeah.
we can start, because I think we've got to do better with supporting each other and sharing just simple things, sharing people's platform, donating £1,
Yeah.
whatever it takes to just try and get.
And when my link was first up, I'm not gonna lie to you lot. People
Yeah.
people were generous.
Yeah.
Even my magazine, when I bought my magazine out, it's free because it's only about, I think it was 8 pages, but I just asked people to pay for postage. Some people sending £20 to say, please send some copies out to other people.
That's so cool, yeah.
Which I just thought is an amazing thing. Some people gave more than £2, so I can afford to post out magazines to other people. So the GoFund works for me. Sometimes it's just ignorance on my behalf. So I'll take full responsibility for that.
Can I just ask you one thing there? Do you have a digital version of your magazine?
I did for the first one, no. The second one, I'm going to make it a digital, yes.
Good, yeah. Could you get a far greater reach that way as well?
The first one, it was just as I said, it was just an introduction because we was 2 years old.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, let me just, try something different because I'm that type of person. I thought, get artwork done, got it managed, and I have to say, they loved it. And a few things we've got in place, sorry, before I forget. This week, Thursday, Stephen Lawrence Day. Proud and Gifted, in conjunction with Kick Off at 3 and Kick Pistol, we are hosting an online event from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Just young people, singers, dancers, poets, everything. It's actually going to be phenomenal. And on Saturday just gone, myself, in conjunction with Resoul, it's this organization. I tell you, it's going to blow you away. They Resoul trainers and give it to the homeless.
Oh, wow.
Let me tell you something now. Musa, and I forgot his partner's name because I only met him on Saturday for the first time. So that's what they do. So on Saturday just gone, he asked me about a year ago, just conversation, Steve, on an award NHS staff. I said, fine, I've got a nurse in my family. And on Saturday just gone, he arranged for Stephen Lawrence's mum to come down. To be honest with you, Baroness Doreen, she wanted to meet the NHS worker herself. And on Saturday gone, she met Lorraine. The ITV filmed it. It might be out on Thursday. It depends. They didn't show it on Saturday because of Prince Philip's funeral, because she's part of the House of Parliament, etc.
Right.
That was being in her presence. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That lady come in like royalty.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate what she went through to get to where she is. But yeah, I stood there.
Nothing but salutes for her.
Yeah, I stood there and she gave me some encouraging words for Proud and Gifted. I said to her, thank you very much. She made it clear. That's why she's been doing her legacy for her son, because what my platform does. And I said to her, thank you very much. So this Thursday, all day event, and as I said, in conjunction, just to celebrate the King's life. So there's so much in the pipeline for Proud and Gifted because, as I said, I've gone and put myself in that space. I haven't waited for no one to put me in it. I've worked at it solidly, consistently every day, and I'm getting to the space, and he's put me on platforms like yourself, which I appreciate, and thank you very much.
No, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming by. No, it's been brilliant.
Yeah.
No, definitely want to have you back.
Please.
So that you
and this time, I'll bring. This time we'll have quite a few young people from different walks of life. I've got one young person already in my head anyway. That's just gonna.
Yeah.
And again, I've got young people that I research. Young people that's got 100 followers. I don't care about your followers.
Yeah.
And
it's not notoriety.
Yeah, and they're quite shocked when my platform contacts them. They don't understand. I'm more excited when they say yes. I'm so excited because to me, you're a little superstar. But when obviously the parents answer, then a young person. But yeah, we don't research people based on their popularity and everything like that. No.
Yeah.
When someone with research comes on telly, I can't lie to you, I get so vexed because I'm thinking they think I'm going to contact them because they've been on telly. But I know how it works. After everyone shared it, people move on.
Yeah.
And that's when Proud and Gifted tend to pounce and
He's swiping.
Not gonna lie, yeah,
going.
yeah, because it's nice they're being on telly, and it's nice they're celebrated.
Yeah.
But then it becomes
Your
shit paper
videos
news.
are no joke. You get some views out here in this boy, so
Yeah,
it helps them. I'm
because
sure.
because I like I said, I sit there every day. Like when I finish now, rap with my family. My daughter might be getting bed soon. Rap with my family, and I think I might sit online maybe till about 1 o'clock.
Right.
Because my job's quite flexible, so I don't really have to be at work like most people at 9 o'clock or
Yeah.
yeah. But I'll get up in the morning, and I've conditioned my mind now since before Christmas. When I get up, my phone's downstairs. I don't touch my phone straight away because I used to do that. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hence why 7 hours on Instagram. My phone's downstairs, and I'll look at it eventually because that phone's a demon, man. Trust me, them things are demons, but we love them.
But we love them.
We love them.
A couple of comments. Well done, Steve. Proud of all what you're doing.
Thank you
Great
very
work
much.
Also, Olu. We need more role models like
What? At 55 years old? Come on.
you. Olu don't look a day over.
Come on.
Honestly, Olu.
Olu, you look good. What cocoa butter are you using?
It's shea butter, the raw one.
Come mine ain't working.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Looking good. All right. Well, believe it or not, we've been on 2.5 hours.
Wow.
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 I've been
Minor.
on 2.5
No
hours.
problem. No problem.
Yeah.
Light work.
Light work.
Light work.
But I think as well, Steve, your energy is what makes me pay attention initially.
And
I'm not gonna lie.
thanks.
So I think your energy definitely is what makes up a lot of Proud and Gifted and
Thank
how
you.
people receive it.
No, thank you. And I'd like, you know what, I'd like to, because yes, it is me, but I'd like to say thanks to a few people. So my friend Mel, in the beginning, Mel Rose, she used to proofread my words before I used to post on Instagram.
Right.
But then obviously it became quite regular. So I knew not to pressure her, but Mel's always been there for me. Sarah, well, that girl's annoying, but you know, love my Sarah. Love my Sarah. She's helping me say the merchandise side a little bit bigger.
Right.
So I appreciate that, because as much as I do most things, need help. No matter what you say, still need help. Gary Hugham, always on the end of the phone for me, giving me ideas. Or when I've got an idea, he simplifies it. Always filming, playing jokes, filming my wife, my daughter. My son, he was here, but he's moved out now. And yeah, as much as it's done by me, still can't forget people that play their part in a different way. And I'd like to thank the whole of the community, because when the community show you love, let me tell you something.
It's
now,
a different love.
It hits differently. And that's no disrespect to nobody else in other areas, but when my media community show me love, I'd just like to say thank you very much, because as much as we're doing the work, it wouldn't be possible without people actually appreciating, accepting, and acknowledging what we're doing for our young people. And shout out to my sister Esther. I think she's the owner of Proud and Gifted, but I let her and my wife fight and argue over that. It's cool. But again, it's put me into spaces like today. Even if I gain one more follower, I appreciate it. And I like to say to most young people out there that when you're starting something, we all are blinded by followers and views.
Yeah, do it for the love, not for the likes.
But when I started, I won't lie, I felt the same. When I put out my first video, I'm thinking, God, all the people I know should get more views. But then you got to realize it's not about that.
Yeah.
So my page is designed for strangers, because my friends always support me and they'll always come on board. But I had one particular situation that made me realize this thing's working. I had a young boy point out to his mum in Highbury, Island in 2019 and said, that's the guy that does the videos online. And I ran, asked him to wait downstairs. And that's when the penny dropped. As long as I can inspire one young person, I'm good.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
That he did that.
Yeah, I had to run around. You know, I'm like, big kid. I said, I said, can I film you? Oh, so I asked the mom. The mom said yes, but he was like, no. So I said, all right, cool. But that's when the penny dropped. That, you know what, Stephen? As long as you inspire one, yeah. As long as you inspire one young person, all right about the views and the likes, because people share it anyway, and like we do workshop with young people around social media. That if you got 10 views, don't worry about that, because you don't see all the shares you get where people send it. You don't see it. But as long as you're happy in what you're doing, don't worry about the views. But we did start off the same. I think it's just the way our minds are conditioned. But after a while, you just believe in what you're doing. And I have to say, I love both sides of my job, supporting vulnerable people. I think my first love is supporting vulnerable people in police stations. Not going to lie. Because it's anyone over 18 or juveniles under 18. Some people just really don't know why they're being arrested, or just want someone independent just to talk to, even for 10 minutes. But then the flip side is Proud and Gifted. Can't lie to you. It's one of the greatest things.
Yeah, it
greatest feelings. I'm not going to lie.
Really is. I wear my t-shirt with pride.
Oh, thank you very much. But you need a new one though anyway. So.
She's been wearing it. Like since
I wear it.
Since she's been she wears that t-shirt, boy.
But it's time I gave one with a new logo anyway. Again, the new logo, I was just sitting there one day and I thought, oh, let me just design a new logo. So I just designed it and got it printed and it works. But I just like to keep things simple.
Yeah.
And meeting man like Ola today, it's like, it just makes me realize that there's so much more my platform can give through the right people.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I just add on something? It's really interesting that you're working on both sides. You're working at the deficit model, students who've come in, I mean, young people who've come into a negative experience with the law.
Yeah.
And you're advocating for them. Yeah. And yet on the other side, you're celebrating Black achievements. That's beautiful, man. So
it really is.
Yeah, it is, because I've been doing my job for 12 years. Even though I've been a mentor, but I've been doing my job in the police station for 12 years. And when I'm out sometimes, young people don't care. Mom, remember when I got arrested? That's the guy that was, and I'm thinking, oh. Whereas wicked. Older people, they look at you like, shit. Sorry, that's the man in the police station. But I look through them because I don't acknowledge no one, even though I remember them. But the answer is yes. There's balancing both sides. As the kids would say, it's light work. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And
I love what I do. I've always loved what I've done. Always.
And on that, that's a lot that obviously it's excellent that you're doing, and but it's a lot because you're literally, as Olu said, working both sides. What do you do to maintain your own kind of self-care? So, because obviously that's a lot. What do you do for you?
I stay happy. I smile 24/7.
It's for that.
I socialize like mad. My wife calls me a socialite.
Yeah.
I don't entertain family politics. I don't have time for it. It's just one of the biggest drainers.
Yeah.
And honestly, I just enjoy life. I kid you not, because I've got this philosophy. It's a fact in it, but you get one chance at this thing. And if you let people's opinions pull you down, it's gonna make you unhappy. Like my daughter, they say she's my product. She had a big meal Friday night in an outside pub. She went drive-through cinema Saturday. That's what I encourage my children. Make sure you enjoy life, because when I was young, I've done exactly the same thing. The only thing I didn't do was holidays. So my daughter, pre-lockdown, she'll get on a plane at least 3 times a year.
I like that.
Even if it's to run, sometimes me and my daughter just run to Amsterdam, no problem.
Yeah.
Dad, you want to go to Amsterdam? Yeah, come on in. Come on in. But what keeps me, just be happy. And as much as I love my family, but you see friends, love them, man. Yeah. So that's what I do. I just enjoy life. I kid you not. If my daughter's sleeping now, I'm most probably going to wake her up.
Oh, we'd fall out.
Yeah. She should be
family politics right there.
Yeah,
right
she won't set with me, but she just knows, oh, Dad, not now. And I'll say, like, Rihanna, so when's the time? And then But I know when to level up and act the adult.
Yeah.
And I know double quicker when to just be the joker in the family.
The kid.
It's balance, isn't it? You need to have a good old laugh. You need to enjoy yourself and enjoy your life, because you only get one. Juliet John Baptist says, excellent work, Steven Oram. Keep celebrating our youth.
My lady ranks easy.
Yeah. Daniel Cherry said, big up, no bravado, proud of your work. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you. Thank you. Juliet also said, great interview, ladies. So thank you.
Yeah. And again, look at yourselves. Look for when you done your first, say, conversation. I don't like to say interview. Look at you lot now. You're commanding your space.
And this is really like,
we're just starting.
We're just starting, but we really have, both of us, come out of our comfort zone. This is something that you could never have told me a year ago that I would be doing.
Whose idea was it, if you don't mind me asking? I'll ask it. Whose idea was it?
It was mine.
There you go. And Trish had a vision. So to cut in, obviously Trish had a vision, and she knew. Let me shout Natalie.
Let me tell you about, because it's funny you was just saying about like family and politics and all of the rest of it. I'm very much the same. I've got a small circle of friends, but I've had some different experiences with businesses. I've found it very difficult to find people that
that's my brother-in-law. You just come. It's all right.
Okay, I find it very difficult to find people that have the same work ethic. And I've had incidences where I've not seen eye to eye in business with people, or integrity levels are not the same, or work ethics not the same. They don't want to put in the same grind. It's really difficult to find someone that you can vibe with and that you can work with. No Bravado was born out of really deep conversations. So I'd have really deep conversations with Natalie, Emma, our producer, really deep conversations with Julian, J2, J Nelson.
My hero.
I'd have really deep conversations.
My hero, I swear, my hero.
Right. So I would start a conversation with Jay, and we'd start on one topic, and then we'll go around the world. We've spoken about spirituality. We've spoken about relationships. We've spoken about business. We've spoken about everything, like the divide between men and women. And it's not just with Julian, but from a male perspective, Julian and Goody, from a male perspective, is who I would have my deepest conversations with. Yeah. And then I just kind of wanted to bring it to life and just be ourselves, have conversations and talk about things, whatever it may be. Yeah. So when we started with the pre-records, it was going to be a show that spoke about real topics, but also spotlighted businesses, spoke about the things that we do in our community to try and, put spotlights on different initiatives, such as What Next, which Natalie has started, and just really celebrate what we do, but shine a light on some of the issues that we have, because I feel like if you still got issues within our community, we can't progress until we kind of come to some sort of common ground with those. So when we started doing the pre-records, as you know, Julian and Dodd were part of that, but then pandemic lick, priorities change. Do you know what I mean? So then me and Natalie continued on, but I said it to Natalie the other day, it's really corny, but I feel like I deserve Natalie. I've prayed for Natalie. No, seriously, I've prayed for Natalie. I've had bad experiences working with people as well. Sometimes working with your friends can be tricky, but it's just worked out the way it's supposed to work out. We get on really well, me and Natalie do. It's given us confidence, and it's also inspired some really great conversations and given us food for thought. So
yeah, because when Donna was on there the other day, whoa.
Yeah, what about that made you go, woo?
Yeah, because them conversation, I just love the way what Donna's done as well during lockdown, like yourselves. But I'll give you a tip what you lot should do, right?
Yeah.
Study one of them American, no matter what we say about Americans, yeah, they don't ramp to niche down on things. If you study one of them chat shows, you see your next direction will be even bigger. I did it with Proud and Gifted. I can't lie to you. I niche down on some of them Americans because they remember they love social media. They love bringing in black businesses. And your conversations could go a very long way.
To be fair, Trisha has got one in America that she likes, she watches, and she look like it's kind of loosely based on that kind of thing. Cool. I'm not really, I've got a damn cheek, but I'm not really a chat show person. So I'm not really a watchy person. I'm not really like that. I'm not gonna go on YouTube and watch things because I'm just not. I'm not.
One
like
day
that.
you might, because you're gonna realize. Yeah, you're gonna realize that, you know what, we're all good at what we do.
Yeah.
It's like I'm looking for a mentor at the moment, but I'm looking for a mentor that can really take me.
To the next level.
Yeah. Take me.
Part of why No Bravado people like it is because we are ourselves, and we are just ourselves, and we are in our lane, and we are just trying to make it bigger.
Yeah.
But we'll take our time.
Yeah.
To get there.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
And check the other side. I'm on there today. I didn't think I'd meet Olu. Man's 55. His story.
Why do you keep calling out the man's age? Because he just looked at the screen.
I was like, all right.
Sorry, I'm just that type of person. Sorry.
No, I don't mind. I'm good.
Yeah. I'm good. Anyway, I don't hear the man moaning either.
Yeah.
But,
no, it was the look to the side.
Like, yeah, I mean that. That's what he's saying. I mean that. But
all right.
It's just nice knowing that what he's doing for our young people, as well as encouraging the parents. And it's true, is if somebody wants to listen to his advice. That's it in a nutshell. And it's nice to hear that. It's really nice to know that I've still got people in my community that is looking out for my young people.
Yeah. And it is something that's needed, you know. What do you think about more black people in the police force? Do you think that's needed?
People just don't like the police, man, unfortunately. And there is a lot of black officers,
right?
But they admit they've had to kind of change their lifestyle around their family and that because they're police. It's quite sad, but who's the first people we call when we've got an emergency? We're going to call the police. But however, it's just that whole regards to police, it's what's been happening to our people. Why some people struggle, but I think, get more black officers. It's no point not having people in positions that can't help our people.
Yeah.
You need people to influence, get more black officers.
Yeah.
But their life changes because they admit they've got to kind of change their friends let them go.
Yeah, because
were they your friends?
Can I just add to that? It's a very important point he said there, because we're all too often complaining. But if we want to be change agents, we need to take up these positions where we can influence our community and advocate on behalf of our community.
Yeah.
Very important. And that is what people are scared to do. Like, who wants to be the black guy who joins the police force? You're considered a sellout. But unless you change and become part of it and work from within, you're just going to be complaining because you're looking from outside.
Yeah.
And I think it's about getting people in positions of power, really. That's where the main change can happen. Yeah.
To influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
right.
Because
at the end of the day, you can get as many black police officers in there, but they've got to follow by a certain rule and thingy. But if we can be the law changers, the policy changers, that's what we need. As well, I think, where we can change certain things, and so it doesn't feel so oppressive, or it doesn't feel, certain things that are unjust or certain things that do not get dealt with properly. There are policies and that in place so that things can be dealt with in the correct way, but that can only be done if we are in those positions as well.
And in the spirit of no bravado, if we're honest, it might actually mean us dealing with our demons. I'll give an example. When I first entered teaching, I worked primarily in the London schools. Yeah, it was easy. I'm from the ends. I can work in a school. But I said to myself, Olu, why can't you go to urban schools? What's the difference? Why do I feel comfortable in that school? And once I challenged myself started working in schools where I was a minority, that's when you know you're making a difference. But it just means that you have to confront your own insecurities, because sometimes we like to feel comfortable in our own space. You see now?
Yeah.
But if you really make a difference, you've got to break down barriers. You've got to show people we can do this, because we complain about numbers in the police force. They will say we don't have enough people applying.
Right.
You see now?
Yeah.
And those who do apply can't make the grade. So it's a case of applying, sticking the course, get into positions where you can actually influence, and then see where we go from there.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to leave in the next few minutes.
No, that's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine. We are.
I was just getting like loads of messages through about George Floyd, that needed to happen.
Trust me.
Yeah, people just saying, well done, Steve. Stand up and be the solution. I know a couple of people who are doing well. One just promoted to Detective Chief Inspector.
Yeah.
So yeah, it happens. But Steve, before you go, and Olu, before you go, tell them where you can find them, and you've got to drop it in the comments as well. Tell them where they can find you. So all your platforms, if you've got a website.
Yeah. I'm just Proud and Gifted on Instagram, Facebook. I've got a YouTube channel, dead though. I'm not gonna lie, dead. Dead. So put it on the video, but and I'm on Twitter, but I think my main platform is Instagram, because I've worked it out. People want instantly, they love the maybe 30 seconds. So that's my main platform that we've niched down on. We've got a website. GoFund will go live again. I need to stop playing around, to be honest. Online merchandise shop will be going live in the next few days. But before I go, I need to know, Olu, what is your platform? Right.
I have a online tutoring company called Atiline Education Services.
Who?
That's ATIL EYIN Education Services.
Yeah.
I'll include the link at the end of the show. So I do online and face-to-face. So as you can see, the pandemic completely destroyed my face-to-face. So I do traditional tutoring and also offer mentoring services as well.
Okay.
Because like yourself, I work with a lot of kids who are facing challenges in schools. And I believe every child can succeed. You just find the best way to work with them. You see now.
Yeah.
So like I said, I'm a professional teacher, but also my own business is the tutoring.
Bad.
So once this pandemic actually becomes silly, I have to deliver more online face-to-face tutoring services and mentoring services as well. But I put the link down. I've got a website. I'm not as active as I'd like to be on Instagram and Facebook, but after listening to you guys, it might seem I have to actually grasp that little bit more seriously.
Yeah, please. Believe it or not, you're missing a trick. I'll be honest with you. I've sat on it for 2.5 years. You're missing a trick. My Facebook page is really great. People just want to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
I can only just say to you, just because I know you have enough content out there that you can post. I know that.
Yeah.
And moving forward, I would like to link up with yourself so I can award 1 or 2 young people in your school who you believe
Lovely.
should be
Love
recognized.
that. Love that.
Yeah,
See,
please.
Love that.
Should be recognized. I think Trisha would tell you, I don't want to say things, and I will follow it through because as much as it helps the young person, it helps my page, and it gives everybody a lift.
Where are you based now, Olu?
I don't actually live in London. I live in Luton.
That's not the road.
Okay.
That's no problem.
That's not the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, I love what I do. I'm really passionate about teaching. I love it. I like watching, young people change, watching that transformation.
Yeah.
A bit like yourself.
You're lighting up now, talking about it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm gonna go. But thank you to everybody in the comments. I will jump in the comments. I'm like that.
They're barling for you to put your stuff in the comments, so put it in the comments.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
And thank you so much.
No, it's cool. I'd like to thank everybody that sat with me, if it's for the last just under 3 hours, 20 minutes, for 10 minutes. I appreciate it a great deal. And Proud and Gifted, what do we do? Celebrate young people's achievements. Very much, okay? I appreciate it. And I look forward to coming back again.
Oh, we look forward to having you.
Look forward to having you, definitely.
No, thank you very much. I'm going to go now, yeah?
Salute, sir.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Bye,
bye.
bye.
Good night. Bye.
Good night. Olu, you
I'm
stood
still
us up.
here.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Yeah. You stood us up the last service.
Pardon?
The last service. The last episode we had, you stood us up.
No, you know what happened? I had a very harrowing experience with the Men in Blue.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. I was, like I said, I had an appointment. I was coming back, and they flashed me down.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled over to a petrol station, and they're asking me things like, "Oh, do you have insurance and tax?" And I'm like, "You can tell that before you stop the car."
Yeah.
Yeah. Just answer the question. I said, "No, hold on. You can tell that. Do you have your ID? I've got my driving license. Can I have it?" I said, "I'd rather you didn't, that you look at it this way." And immediately one officer just grabbed my arm.
Wow.
Oh.
He just grabbed this. He just grabbed me. I'm like, "What? What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Switch.
sticking.
Said to him, "And how you expect?" Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can hear you now.
Yeah.
This is not. I said, "This is not going to go how you expect." I said, "Don't think because there's three of you, it's going to go the way you expect."
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other guy goes, "Oh, there's no need to be like that." I said, "Well, why is he manhandling me? You've answered my ID.
Yeah.
Here it is. I'd rather you didn't take it. You read it." Yeah. So anyway, eventually he calmed down. The guy took my details. I said, "I want to record the incident." "No, we'd rather you don't record it." So you could see here.
Would you rather they don't? Would you cheat?
I'd rather you not touch me, but hey.
Yeah.
But lucky enough, I put into a petrol station where there's cameras and there's lights. Yeah?
Right.
And to cut long story short, they let me go. Then he goes, when they saw that my age, he goes, "Oh, in future, we had at your age." And I said, "Young man, in future, you respect your elders." Yeah.
Good.
But what he said to me is that, can you imagine now, right? Imagine I had some sort of record or something. They could have put in a situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see now. So I thought, wow, they just pulled me over. They said, "Oh, you're speeding. You didn't stop immediately." I said, "Which one is it? You doing me for speeding or for not stopping?" Because when a policeman flashes you down, you got to pull over into a safe space.
Yeah.
Which is why I pulled into a petrol station.
Yeah.
But the fact that he manhandled me.
Wow.
Disrespect.
Yeah. So that was the situation really. So
Oh,
it was okay.
Sorry about that.
It was okay. You
My
know.
goodness. Even at your age now, you're still experiencing.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
At my age, yeah.
Have we got Olu's number, Trish?
No.
We should take it just because we'd love to have you on like for a proper show once.
No problem.
So we could, if you just, send that to Trish or us, then
no
we can arrange that with you.
Like I said, I look forward to your content. I do see the what next things you put up. Some of them quite controversial, and I'm like, "No, Olu, do not post it there. Speak to them."
What do you find
controversial? I type nothing. "No, Olu, don't say anything." But I think, "No, say it." But some of your topics are really woof.
What next or no bravado or both?
What about what next?
Both.
What about what next do you find controversial?
Like some of the posts, like what would you do if you found that your man was, some of those things that you put on there, those things.
Okay.
Oh, that's no bravado.
Oh, that's no bravado. Yeah, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But feel free to
type away.
Yeah.
We love the perspective.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
Yeah. No. You can ask, and I'm quite prepared to answer. I ain't got a problem with that.
Okay.
Before we go, one of the memes that we put up in the group this week was, who comes first, spouse or mum?
Who comes first, spouse or mum? See, everybody says your mum because you owe a duty to. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Who comes first, spouse or mum? But in terms of what?
I guess just generally. Or,
you see that?
Yeah.
You see that? Because people say, "Oh, mum." No. Your mum's not always first, because sometimes your mum might be wrong.
Mm.
And
so dependent on the situation, basically.
Yeah. There's times I've had to say to my mum, "Mum, you're wrong in this situation." "Mum, you're wrong."
Yeah.
So
Right.
people always say, oh yeah, my mum. No, sometimes you're not being rude to your parents. It's the way you say it. You might be actually educating your parents. Because sometimes our parents can be quite single-minded, quite ignorant, and they may not know. So it's like, Mum, in this situation, I think you're wrong. You might want to consider this. Okay.
Didn't look at it that way.
No.
Oh, you're freezing again. Oh, here you are. You're back.
Any others? Any others?
What other memes did you see in the group that you liked this song?
What else did I see? There's been a lot.
I saw one about you've been dating a guy and then you find out that he's gay or something like that.
That he had a gay experience in college.
I read some of the comments. I'm like, some of you women are not easy.
No, I mean, if I'm 100% honest, I found that question difficult. I had to go away and think about it.
Yeah.
Because I think that if a female has a sexual experience in college with another female, it's not frowned upon as much. So I don't think that men are given an opportunity to explore their sexuality without as much frowning as women.
Rebuttal, yeah.
Yeah, we are able to have that experience and say, oh, well, we were bi-curious. Whereas with men, everyone was like, it's just straight no. And if I'm 100% honest, it would make me uncomfortable, but I had to really dig down as to why. And I think it is, as one of the group members said, that what if you're just his beard then? Because men are not given I don't know, like some people on the DL for years. Why is that? It's because they don't feel liberated to come out. So what if he's just using you, if his preference is men, but because he doesn't want to come out, he's just using you, that would probably be in the back of your mind. So I guess that's why a lot of women said no.
And also it's about men having that safe space that they can articulate these views, because all too often he might have had an experience and now he's gay.
Yeah.
Well, as you said, if a woman does it, she's experimenting.
Yeah.
But I always say this, and it's going to sound controversial. Even if men don't say or admit to having such experiences, me personally, if a guy's going in and out of prison, he's seeing something that he's not supposed to be seeing.
Right.
So I'll leave it like that.
Right.
You get some brothers and they're like institutionalized in and out of prison. They must have seen something there that that would never come out of their mouth.
Right.
Because I spoke to people who've been in prison. I said, if he's half decent looking, of course man's going to move to him.
Right.
But they would never articulate it because they're bad men, they're alpha males, blah, blah, blah. But remember this, I'm a big guy, yeah? I would say this, it only takes 2 guys to knock me out, one to hold me, one to knock me out, and then I'm theirs. So every man thinks he's a bad man in prison, but if a man wants you in prison, he's taking you.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So if a man's in and out of prison, I would question now, why are you always in prison? Because that must affect how you are sexually.
It's true.
He's been in long periods. Because remember, if you've taken a man in his prime, he's with women, then you've thrown into a prison X amount of years. Of course that's going to affect you. I don't care. That's going to affect you.
Yeah.
But that's just my take on it.
What about you go out on a date with someone? So it says, ladies, is it ever okay to bring your friend along to your date? Guys, if she does, what's your next move? So say you went on a date and then they brought a friend. What are you doing when you see them bowling in together through the restaurant doors?
It depends, because I can be controversial now. Sometimes there might be a boobs tip. Right, you see, you expect that, did you? You see, you're laughing. Okay, all right, so you might say, oh yeah, I like you, I want to take you out, I want to take you shower. Oh, guess what, I met somebody, want to take me shower, come with me, we spend all of this money. See them ones there?
Yeah.
So I think the onus is upon the guy to make it very clear from the onset, I'm taking you out on a date. not you and one other.
Right. Okay.
You see now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you were taking a man out and he's breaking, how would you feel?
Uncomfortable.
There you go.
Yeah.
You see now?
So one of the memes, one of the last ones I want to discuss, it said, no shade, but some of you can't find a good man because you act like a man.
How much time we have left?
Don't do it. Don't do it, Ollie. Don't do it, because we finna do another 3 hours.
Let's go there.
Listen, I will leave you two here. I'll go to my bed.
Listen, you don't want to get me started on that, you know.
No, I do. Let's go on. What do you think about that?
Because I will bring facts, statistics, and data to back up my argument.
What? So you think that women act like men?
There's two things there. Women are not getting men because they're not getting men, and is it because they act like men? That's what your question was, yeah?
Yeah, it said, the guy said, no shade, but some of y'all can't find a good man because you act like a man.
So you can't find a good man, or you can't find a man.
We're going to go with good man.
Good man.
Good man,
Yeah.
right, okay. Right, okay.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah, so you can't find a good man because you act like a man. Depends on the kind of man you're trying to attract. Yeah?
Right.
If you're trying to attract a mate, some men will be attracted to some women who are agreeable and they can get along with. Yeah?
Yeah.
If you're trying to attract a man that you want to mate, but you want to dominate the situation, then certain men are not going to have it.
Right.
Because certain men like to feel like men in a relationship.
Right.
Okay, but what do you mean by dominate the situation? What do you mean? Like, what types of situation would feel emasculating?
Okay, imagine you're a woman and you're looking for a partner, you meet a guy, and he doesn't seem to have his shit together. Sorry for swearing, yeah? So you meet him.
Maybe you're in the right place.
I swear all the time.
You meet a guy.
Don't worry.
It's even a swear word.
Right, it's not a swear word to us.
Yeah, I'll go on.
It's roses.
You meet a guy, he moves into your space, yeah? And now he wants to feel like he's the man. As a woman, you want to say, hold on. No, you're not running things because the mere fact you're living with me, I'm running things. You're my man, but I'm running things. Certain men will accept that. To me, they're not proper men.
Okay. So you wouldn't move into your woman's house or
at this stage of my career, no. Because if you're me, it depends on where you're at in terms of your journey. If you're at this age and you're taking a guy from his parents' house to come stay in with yours, you've got to ask yourself, is that man actually committed enough to actually do it? Because it's all nice. Oh yeah, he's with me, we're cool. But you got to think, hold on, you want a man, don't you? You're a man. You don't want another son or boy child. And most men, what's that?
But I think if he's paying his way with you, I think it's just, you know, it might be just the best thing at the time to move in, for him to move in with you. But, you know, as long as he's not kind of just, you know, just leaning on you indefinitely and you kind of make it work together. Yes, he's moved into your place, but you split everything, you do this, you do that. That can work, no?
It always ends in tears.
Do you think you're quite traditional? Would you say that you're quite a traditional person? Like with regards to gender roles in a relationship? You did freeze at the right time.
Saved by the
What's that? I missed that. What was that?
Freeze at the right time, boy. In the right question. Yeah, would you say that you're quite a traditional partner? I don't know if you're married or you're in a relationship, so I don't know. A traditional partner or husband or...
I say I'm a matured man who's seen life. Seen life. So that scenario you've just said, I've been in that situation. It always starts off lovely until you're not dancing to the woman's tune. And then it's peak for the man.
Because she says, come out my yard.
She just throw you out.
You know that, exactly, yeah? However, listen to this now. That's because the woman knows she's got nowhere to go. But if you meet a man, he's got his stuff, and he's actually, I'm renting my thing, coming with you. And then that woman will have more respect because she thinks, if I kick him, at least he's got somewhere to go. You see now? That's what I'm trying to say. So in terms of a good man, I think deep down you would respect a man better if he came with yours and you're equally yoked to start off with, and you can build, as opposed to a man coming to you, leaning on you, and then trying to be the man.
Right.
Makes
Does that
sense.
make sense? Yeah.
100%.
But then I know you were saying that you wouldn't move into your woman's place. So would you expect your woman to move into yours, or would you be like, let's find a place together, a mutual space?
At this age, wouldn't you expect a man to have his own place?
Yeah. But then would you expect? But if I've got my own place, or she's got her own place, and you've got your own place,
Yeah.
Whose place? Who's? What's the toss up? Like, whose place is it gonna be?
Right, then that's a conversation to be had. But if you want a real man, you want a man to lead, even if you have to move into his place, you would have a plan that, okay, I'll do that, rent my place, but we're gonna build together.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't want a man.
But you can't do it the other way around, though.
But either way. But
Okay.
the thing is,
Yeah.
deep down, you want a man who's gonna lead.
Yeah.
I'm not saying be bullish, but you want a man.
Even if you resist the leadership, you still want it.
No, you don't resist it. You never resist it. No, we don't do that.
Now, alpha men and alpha women can coexist. I think they can.
Yeah.
Just need to know how to do it without the conversation. That part I don't agree with.
But do you know what? I think an alpha male, if he's really an alpha male, can accept the alpha female because he's an alpha male. It's not a problem.
Like, some guy was coming for me yesterday, just basically saying, if you describe yourself as an alpha male, alpha female, that means that you can. Would you accept a weak man then? Because you can only be with a beta if you're an alpha.
Let me tell you something now, right? You see that alpha male, alpha female thing, yeah?
Yeah.
An alpha male wouldn't accept it. He'd just keep it moving.
What do you view as an alpha female, though? What do you think that is?
A female who's exhibiting male attributes. So, for example, a female who projects all the things you associate with being a man.
Okay.
So a female who wants to lead in a relationship, takes all the major decision making in a relationship, who wants to not necessarily dictate, it takes a bit strong, but who's leading. You see now. So if a woman projects that, some men like that. They don't want the responsibility, which is fine. Yeah. They're beta males. Be very clear about that. Yeah, they are beta males. Right. They submit to their women, and some men, they like that because they don't want responsibility. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you meet a real man, an alpha male, yeah, he'll say, babes, I've got this. You'll be rest assured that you're in good hands because he'll provide leadership. He's not putting you down, but he's letting you know, I've got this.
Right.
Yeah. For alpha females, I guess it's your interpretation of an alpha female, because one of the things that you mentioned was that they're leaders, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they want to dominate or that they have to have someone that's weaker, but they're self-starters, and they're half the time, some alpha females are very, very sensitive. So it's not that they're just walking around like men all the time. It's just they are very self-starters.
No, I'm not saying it. So I'm not saying derogatory, man. I'm saying even alpha females know how to submit to the right man.
Yes. I agree with
the
that.
right man, a man that's worthy of submitting to. Because I think as well, an alpha female is in the eyes of the beholder, the same way beauty is. So what one man might describe as an alpha female isn't what necessarily another man would describe as an alpha female, because it's how they see it and what would suit them or doesn't suit them. Because I've heard it described by men in many different ways. So I think one man will think, no, you're acting like an alpha male, alpha female, whereas another man might not necessarily think that's the case by certain behaviors. But I do think as well, you know, the alpha female as well, I think she's assertive. That's what I get from an alpha female.
And I think it gets very much confused with aggression.
Yeah.
And
I think she knows who to submit to, and certain, and as you said, Olu, it's about submitting to the right man.
So Natalie, let me appeal to your femininity here.
Good luck with that.
Just did it to the right man, because the thing is, yeah, and sometimes you trust, you think a guy's going to see rubber, you think, I'm not listening to that. You can keep it moving, but I think deep down, even if you're independent, because most people confuse alpha male with being independent women, go-getters, because they've had to, because you can't rely on men. I understand that completely. However, you know, the right man, you're like, you know what, I feel safe. I'll submit to this man because he's worthy, he's shown all the things, he respects me, he you know what I mean? And he's not being rude, but you submit to his leadership. So then in that situation, you don't consider yourself alpha man. In fact, you'll be saying, that is my man, and you'll celebrate him.
Yeah.
But when you meet someone who is not deserving of that title, in fact, it'll be pure argument because you don't respect him.
You've got to feel safe with that person. You've got to feel safe.
Yeah.
Like you're in safe hands in order to be able to,
And men who tend to describe women as alpha because, no, she didn't submit to your leadership. That's what it is, and you can handle it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It depends on what you see. Different males will see it. The alpha females in different ways, depending on where they're at.
And that's what it's coming to,
Yeah.
Does that answer the question?
It really does.
It does.
Thank you.
All right.
So do you still feel I'm a traditional?
Yeah, I think you hold some traditional values.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that, There's nothing wrong with that at all. Because you hold the balance where, okay, I hold these traditional values, but I can complement it with this. So it's not traditional in the oppressive manner.
No, I don't do that one. No.
Yeah.
You know, who wants to be with a woman who hasn't got a voice? That's not a relationship.
Yeah.
That's a woman in servitude. You don't need that.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure talking to you.
Always. Thank you for coming on short notice as well.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
And we've got to have you on properly. We didn't know about your mentoring service and stuff, so it would be great to have you on properly one day. So when you're ready, arrange that properly. Yeah. No problem. It's been another great evening. I've really enjoyed it. You know. Thank you. I like the honesty in which you come across on this platform. And also the comments from the viewers, which is why I like looking forward to this. Thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you.
Well, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Take care, ladies.
We'll see you in 2 weeks, Olu. We'll contact you in Messenger to get your number. You do that, yeah. The show. Then. All right. Take care then. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you, Olu. Bye. So 3 hours and 15 minutes later, Natalie. You know, we can chat, man. I don't care. No. And some people that know me will think, I didn't know you could chat like that, because I have to be in the right space to be able to talk like that. Yeah. It was an interesting show. That young man blew me away. He did. When I started reading about him and researching him and stuff like that, I was just like, wow. We're not going to have any problems with dialogue with this gentleman because he's just on it. Yeah, 100%. And I just want to side note, if you saw me, guys, muting and unmuting and muting and unmuting, I'm at home today. And I usually do this at Trisha's. And I'm at home today, and kids' bedtime is at 8, and I kind of secluded them to their bedroom. And what they've been doing, because they know that I'm on screen and that I can't do much, is they keep running downstairs. Have you finished? Have you finished yet? Is it done? Are you finished? Is it done? Cussing each other, arguing, fighting. We found the cat because we lost our cat for 24 hours. Dashed the cat onto the computer table. The cat's just walking past me on the computer table with its tail in my face. All of this is happening. I've been trying to keep it together. So if you keep seeing it mute and unmute, it's every time I mute it, I'm cussing wildly. But I'm still celebrating young people, even though I'm cussing mine out. So just keeping it real, no bravado.
I saw the tail go past the nose. I was like, oh.
I was like, no. I wanted to vomit. Like the tail's in my nose and mouth and I can't do nothing about it. And then I was telling them to go away. And then they were like, but you've been on there for 2 hours. And I was like, but you should have been in bed by 8 o'clock anyway. It's just been one of them. So I've been literally managing no bravado and cussing the youth them in the house. So yeah.
When are we back on? Let's wrap up because it's
yeah, so we're back on in 2 weeks, which brings us to the 4th of May. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're meant to be doing intergenerational cycles.
Yeah.
Then we'll talk to Amma and see if she wants to do like a chill show before we go back into serious and see what she wants to do. But yeah, we have got that scheduled out. So 4th of May. How's Niall doing?
Good.
Yeah,
good, busy. I released another blog that I did today, called Define Essential. So the blog that we released today is one that I wrote a couple of months ago when we were waiting to get the site together. And I just explain the issue that I have with closing black hair shops during the lockdown and negating them as non-essentials.
Yeah,
because other communities can buy and other races can buy their hair products in Superdrug, which remained open, Boots and the superstores. And all our stores closed. And even in the Superdrugs and the markets, we have a very, very tiny section that is heavily overpriced. So I kind of venture into that and the issue with that and how Niall plans to kind of change that. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got some new collection pieces coming for Diva Choice soon.
Yeah, can't wait. Can't wait. And it's your birthday. It's Trisha's birthday on Sunday, guys. Trisha's birthday on Sunday.
They won't tell me what they're doing. No.
Yeah. So we've got a nice little something, low key because obviously it's lockdown. But we've got a nice little something for her. Can't wait to celebrate her. And she looks absolutely stunning today. I wanted to tell you, you look every so often I was catching glimpses of you. You look absolutely beautiful today.
You know
you
what?
Look so gorgeous.
Transitioning with my new head wraps.
You look stunning. You just look pretty, like really pretty and gorgeous today.
Thank you.
So
I'm coming into my 46th year. So it's the 46 glow.
Yeah, definitely a glow.
Yeah.
Definitely a glow.
I always get nervous before birthdays, do you?
Sometimes I think I remember I told you I get a little bit like around my birthday. I've not really had the greatest of birthdays. Yeah. But you know, I'm starting as time's gone on, I'm starting to embrace it a little bit more. But there is an element of anxiety there. There is an element. And Daniel says, whoop whoop, happy birthday to you, Trisha, fellow Taurus.
Oh, right. Daniel, you're a Taurus. My battery just died out on me, so I can't see not a damn thing. I was like, really?
Oh,
thanks, Daniel. Yeah, no, I'm going to be 46 on Sunday. I always get reflective.
Black don't crack again.
Yeah, I remember my brothers. You know, the mere fact that my brothers didn't, you know, get to celebrate any more birthdays, they all passed, and I always think about them and wonder if they're proud. Hope that they are, and then start planning for what my achievements are going to look like for the next year.
Your next transit.
Yeah, what the achievements are going to look like. I intend to laugh. I intend to enjoy life a lot more. And what Stephen was saying is important. We need to celebrate our achievements. You know, we need to celebrate our young people's achievements. But I think we just go through life doing and not really acknowledging the great stuff that we do manage to accomplish. So, you know, it is going to definitely be celebrating some more of our accomplishments. Definitely.
Fantastic. Yay!
Oh, my love. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, always. I'm intermittent fasting. I'm not supposed to eat anything after 9 o'clock until 1 o'clock tomorrow. I haven't eaten. So I'm sorry. That shit's broken today. I'm about to shout it down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna break that shit today, soz. I mean, I'll get back onto it tomorrow.
Bye. I'm going.
Sorry.
Go eat. I'll call you anyway.
All right. Take care. Take care, guys. Thank you, Daniel. I've not really seen you on here before, so welcome.
I know.
And thank you. You know, Daniel. Oh, thank you.
Good guy. I can't see the comments because I'm not on Facebook and the phone.
Ian Burnett said, "Birthday blessings, Trisha. Enjoy as well."
Oh, thank you. I'll probably check in live anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, we were
planning to leave me in Epping Forest. I don't even know what they're doing, but hey.
We might.
Here's hoping you see me at the next live. Might kill me.
See you later.
Take care.
Bye. Bye, guys. Bye.